Okay, welcome back to Phatkat Collections, folks. Today doing another reaction video, and these reaction videos just mainly for my subscribers. You know, one thing that I think on YouTube that helps folks, I don't want to say become successful on YouTube because I don't really consider my channel like overly large. It's a very small channel, honestly. But I do think that, you know, for folks who do take the time to watch you and follow you, it's good to kind of let them know a little bit more about you, kind of how you view the world and view different people. And I think that when people kind of see eye to eye, it makes them want to, I think, watch other topics on a channel, right? Build a level of rapport and trust. So today, I'm doing this reaction. This one's about Wes Watson. If you guys didn't check out my other video I did, there's lots of folks right now making a shit ton of money off Wes Watson. Now, I just want to first start off, like, I don't really care for Wes Watson. And we're going to talk about the whole alpha male thing. And the title of this video is Wes Watson Exposes the Secret to Making Millions Per Month. I don't know if this is from another channel or I don't think this is actually from Wes Watson himself. But one thing about, you know, I think kind of the way I look at... What up, Trey? And I'll pop it into chat too, and just, you know, if you're on the chat, just go ahead and say hello and stuff like that. I'll respond to kind of questions if you guys have any. This is just my take on this, right? And kind of things that maybe Wes might say. I haven't watched this video yet, but my whole thing with the alpha male world is just kind of comical to me. Granted, these guys are making a shit ton of money, and hey, more power to you. You'll see a lot of guys out there now, like John Bravo and Bubba Army and those kinds of critiquing sites. You know, just kind of, I guess, kind of like trying to call folks out on YouTube. And let's face it, you know, there's always going to be a hater. I mean, I've had plenty just on my little channel. So once you get a level of success, you know, those folks are going to come out the woodwork. And I've joked around about many times. You know, we always say the dude in mom's basement eating pizza rolls. And I like pizza rolls once in a while myself too. And I don't live in mom's basement, but I do spend a hell of a lot of time with my mom and dad. They're my best friends. But, you know, when I say that, I think, you know, you're always going to have people that disagree with you. Lord knows I've had plenty of arguments on YouTube. And I think as I've grown, and my channel has grown, I don't really get too much into the back and forth or trying to combat somebody who may make a video about me. You know, there's always an explanation to things. There's always two sides to every story. But I will say that I think the problem lies with a lot of these folks is that there's really, some of these guys just kind of follow in the footsteps of others. They're always trying to make money, and they'll give you a story. They're ultimate salesmen, right? And I say that very loosely because they're selling people based on an idea, based on a lifestyle a lot of times. And this is nothing new. You know, folks have been watching shows like Lifestyle Rich and Famous and the Kardashians, all these different, you know, reality shows, because people do like to look at other people's lavish lives. And I think that most people, I think most people in the world, whether you value money or you or not, or I think everybody values money to a point because you need it to survive. You know, I don't believe that people who have money have all the answers, right? And I think that a lot of times in life there are a lot of luck. Hard work will only get you so far. Luck will only get you so far. You know, it takes a little bit of everything. And I'm not coming to you with this video as if, like, I have the answers, because I would love to have more money, right? I'm just a working normal dude, but, you know, I have my normal dude perspective. So let's see how this video is going to start off, right? And we'll just kind of go from there, right? All right, so here we go. And the guy on the screen right now is Wes Watson. Again, I want to be clear, I don't like Wes Watson. And in honesty, too, you know, when we look at a lot of the guys critiquing this guy, you know, we'll talk about many things in this video, I'm sure. But, you know, I have more respect for channels like John Bravo, who actually put their face out there for the world to see and open themselves up for critiquing. It's very easy for somebody to sit, like a lot of these other channels, and critique somebody from, of course, you know, we're all in the safety of our own homes, right? But to critique somebody without you putting yourself out there, you know, to me isn't as bold, isn't as alpha, right? This ridiculous alpha male thing. So let's just see we'll just start. Okay, I'll shut up.
I do everything I don't want to do. So everything I don't want to do is what I have to do, because that's overcoming that hurdle, that fucking mindset trip. People are like, hey, what do you do for mindset training? Like it's a plus.
All right, so I can say a lot already, but let's this is just a snippet, so let's kind of see, make sure, I don't want to react to something if I take it out of context, something like that. So let's just continue on.
My mid-level program where you get in shape, get your mind right, you learn the apps and learn the system that you're about to teach.
All right, so again, it looks like he sells like coaching programs, and I have heard a lot about this guy and how like there's very minimal interaction. The more you pay, the more interaction you get from Wes Watson. I can't confirm that, right? I would never sign up for something like that. And one might say, oh well, you're not in the best shape of your life because you don't have a coach. I just think that's just a bunch of nonsense. I think that it's very hard for me to take guys seriously, give advice when a lot of these guys are on gear, they're on steroids, and so absolutely, steroids aren't going to get you. The build, right? You still got to put in the work. But there's also been studies showing, tests where they've done studies where guys have taken, different levels of testosterone with absolutely no working out, and they still gain muscle. So, these guys who claim that, oh, I have to put in the hard work, they think that, like, if they admit to being on steroids, that they're, somehow it's discrediting any kind of work they put in. And absolutely, Wes looks like he has a, and again, it is subjective on what people find, for women attractive and whatnot, but he looks like he's in great shape, fantastic. Obviously has put in the work, but let's face it, all these dudes are on sauce. And so, yeah, that makes it a lot easier for you to achieve your goals, right? And then it's interesting that, you'll see guys who are very healthy, who are, personal trainers who don't look like that. They're not all jacked. And a lot of people won't really want to take their advice. It really comes down to, I think a lot of times people, if you want to look like somebody and emulate somebody, or not even emulate somebody, if you want to look like somebody, if we're just looking at physical appearance, then you're going to find somebody that you, I guess, find appealing and that you're going to be more inclined to take their advice. But really the fitness industry is just a bunch of bullshit. And of course, there's nothing really fancy about working out. It's kind of common sense. There's many different ways. Like, I find it very, very annoying when you see guys all over Instagram talking about, like, just an example, like doing a curl and like twisting their, there's all kinds of little tweaks you can do. And a lot of the stuff that I remember reading muscle magazines, like when I was in high school, looking at these big giant guys who, there wasn't as much, I guess, of a spotlight on steroids. It wasn't as prevalent, but still a lot of guys are. If you're on pro level, like you're on steroids, I don't care what anybody says. That's, in my opinion, but he's pretty clear that a lot of these guys are on the sauce. But just to put it in perspective, if you're not going to go on the sauce, you're going to start a workout routine, you can get results. Your diet's going to be most important, right? Depending on what kind of results you get. But you can get results even with a poor diet and just working out. Like, you have to be disciplined to do the work. And I think that anybody who wants it enough doesn't need a coach to tell them. Some folks maybe have no discipline. And ultimately, you can't forever have somebody, the old saying, you lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You can get a coach and they can show you all the perfect ways to work out. Or just, let's say you know absolutely nothing about working out. And I get it, right? You're not sure what to do. You can pick up, there's so much information on the internet. You can pick a basic program. There's nothing that these guys are going to tell you or tweak for you that's going to give you an insane amount of success versus if you just found something off the internet and did it. There's nothing fancy here. Working out is very basic. You just have to do it. And you have to listen to your body and know, when to push, when not to push. But it's not overly complicated, right? When you look at guys doing insane programs, you see guys all over the internet, like the old, 70s era bodybuilding, hours and hours in the gym. Now you see a lot of the modern stuff, less. So really, it just comes down to a lot of your genetics, whether you're on steroids or not. But, tweaking your protein levels a little bit here and there, you're not going to get insane gains by making little tweaks to the way you curl or changing your, pushing your chest out more on bench. All these things are good, little tidbits for better form. They're all helpful, but nothing's going to be like night and day difference. And so these guys act like they're like almost like preachers, like they have the answers, and that's just not the way it works. But we'll continue on.
So you fully understand it. You went through it. You onboarded it. You did it. It's like real-time accountability. The form of coaching using my Instagram and using the habits that I give you is like virtual reality. Like you're at the gym with me.
It's funny that every time I see any kind of video about him, he's always doing like these really easy, simple, like not even sweating kind of curls. And I can assure you that unless you have superior genetics, you doing shit like that and not pushing it, you're not probably not going to get any kind of results. maybe you'll feel better. There's different kind of results. There's mental results, like you might feel better about yourself going to the gym. I know it's a good vent for me as well. I mean, I guess when I look at working out, I know that I've been training pretty hard for about 4 years now. Consistently, I don't miss weeks ever. I probably missed like 1 or 2 weeks in the last 4 years because I was either sick or got injured. But for the most part, I am very consistent, rain or shine. And I'll tell you that, yeah, I know that I've made gains because you folks actually tell me, like, hey, you look like you've been working out. But, like, I'm not on any kind of stage level, right? I'm not even on the level of, like, guys like Wes Watson, these guys who are in amazing shape. And it's because I'm not on steroids, right? And I do, like, for me personally, whether you agree with it or not, I like the balance of being able to look in the mirror, feel good about what I see, and also, enjoy foods that I like. And during what I normally do is during work, when I'm working, it's all business, right? I prep my meals, I weigh everything, and I have 3 meals on 10-hour shift. Sometimes I'll snack in between a little more, get a little extra protein, but it's not, at the end of the day, I still eat what I want, but at least during that 10 hours, I'm eating relatively lean and clean. And, that's the balance. I do like Chipotle. I do like burritos, and I do like pizza. So I'm not looking to, start a fitness program or start to become a coach. And maybe if you're on that kind of level where you're going to start coaching people, the expectation is that you look amazing yourself. But I think it really just comes down to the person. But a lot of what you see online is bullshit. But all right, we'll continue on here.
But they're holding on to like their $1,700 like it's the craziest thing ever. It's like, motherfucker, let that shit go. You're broke.
So here's what he's trying to sell people, like, dude, $1,700, he's almost acting like he's going to be with you the whole time holding your hand in the gym. That's just not the case. From what and again, I haven't signed up for his program, nor would I for anybody's program. And some may say, well, that's why you're not looking like Wes Watson. But if you look at most of the dudes who Wes Watson coaches, a lot of the minions around him, they're all on sauce. And a lot of them don't look all that great, in my opinion, right? Don't get me wrong, great. They still have good builds, but again, that is subjective. Not everybody's going to find all that muscle attractive. Would I like to, my optimum weight, I think, would be about, 170, 180, which is what I weigh now. But at a 10% body fat, my body fat percentage is higher. I always carry, and your genetics determine a lot. Like, I carry more weight around my midsection, around the back area. So for me to really cut down to get, like, really lean for visible abs, like, I'm going to have to really cut out a lot of calories to do so, or go on some kind of steroids of some sort, in order to help that process, especially when you get older, it becomes harder. So, just kind of take what everybody says with a grain of salt. He's acting like $1,700, just get my program, I'm going to change your life. And maybe if you're really the kind of guy who's absolutely in a rut, and you need something to kind of boost you out, I'm not saying he doesn't help people, but it's just not, this is not like, let's just see how far he goes.
What's going on, family? It's your boy Darius here at the Influence to Impact podcast, where we have influential and impactful conversations. Man, today I got one of them ones, man. I got someone who I've been watching for a long time. He's been crushing it, killing it. He's going to get into a lot of game about how he built his business. That's cool. But more so, I'm going to have him talk to y'all about how to become the type of person to do any and everything you want, man. My guy,
Okay.
Wes Watson. What's going on, my man?
Thank you, big dog.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I mean, honestly, like, when I see him just kind of on interviews like that, he doesn't look like a horrible dude. But when you look at all the publicity he's getting, and, he has spent time in prison, and there's, back and forth with these different guys out there on YouTube claiming, like, he wasn't a shot caller in prison, or he didn't do this, didn't do that. Only he really knows. I honestly don't really care. I think a lot of times, and also you might say to yourself, well, why are all these people making videos about him? It's like, just let the guy, if he's going to rip people off, like, that's really his business, and that's between him and the person he's ripping off. And when you look at all these different videos out there, guys saying the downfall of Wes Watson, like, I don't see any downfall. All I see is people making money off and getting views and making money off YouTube off his name and his videos. And just like I'm throwing out here a video out there, right? And this is mainly for my subscribers. You get to know kind of my mindset more, because I don't anticipate any of my videos going viral, honestly. But, when you listen to him, I don't know. I just don't like, I guess I can kind of agree with him in, like, why, like, don't worry about it, and if it's not affecting you, why are you making it your business? But, I don't know. can go either way on that.
I'm pumped, man, because this the way you delivered it earlier when we first got here, and we just went into fucking plan B.
Yes,
you're gonna go all in. You're gonna go all in. That's what it is.
That's it. So a lot of people know you, but for the people who don't know you, right?
I mean, I do think that he dresses like. I mean, like I guess it's his like brands like that. I do think that this like, and some may say that about me too, right? You dress childish, but I do find that this is like kind of a little hoodlum kind of wear. I don't know, kind of the big ass shorts, not my style. And I think that's, also I think that maybe there's a guy giving advice on here about life. I guess I just don't really need advice on life. Ultimately, I think we all know what our shortcomings are and what keeps us in one spot, like one job or another. I know that for myself. And so I don't know. I just don't think there's like a set answer as far as like, oh, do this, do that, step 2, step 3, and you're going to become rich. I just don't. Anybody who says that is just really just kind of trying to sell you something. I don't believe that at all. Absolutely, there's people out there who are very well. If you've, let's say you've become successful in a certain industry, one might say, hey, this is what I did. I did this with my education. I took this step. I made these connections. But to be an influencer, like a lot of it really comes down to just kind of luck. And there's nothing that these guys are doing that any other YouTuber is not doing, other than like much better editing, of course, and piecing the videos together better. But there's really nothing really outside, insanely unique. Just like all these folks who try to email you about, hey, I can help get your videos more views and all this shit. And these companies, these individuals doing that, like you can't fool the YouTube algorithm. The YouTube algorithm works the way it works, and ultimately a lot of why a video gets views or not has to do with the engagement and the topic, of course, right? And so, there's nothing you can do with keywords or title. You can do, you want to do the basics, right? The bare minimums, but, you're not going to trick the algorithm. You're just not.
Right? Because you do got a big social media following, but there might be some people who are like, well, I haven't heard of Wes. Introduce yourself so people get to know you.
I mean, that's the coolest thing about online. Yeah. You could be known by so many motherfuckers and barely tap 1% of that bitch. Sorry. So the whole thing is this is the biggest market known to man, which is social media. And someone like,
I don't know if it's the biggest market known to man. I actually hate social media. It's just not my thing. I think a lot of times people need and this is probably a lot of the population, people really need reinforcement, right? And I think that a lot of people, they need validation a lot of times. And so I guess it's hard for me to relate because I don't need validation from anybody. I like what I like. Of course, I shouldn't say that, actually. People that I care about and love, like my mom and dad, my sister, their validation means something to me. But for the rest of the world, some random people on fucking social media, girls I dated, folks from the past, old friends, fair weather friends, I could give 2 fucks what they think, right? And so I just don't really... Like, we can go back to watches. Like, not everybody's going to like my style of watches or the way that I dress, right? And I'm like, I don't really fucking care, unless I'm asking for your opinion on something, I just keep your mouth shut, But, I mean, that's the internet. That's what people do. And people like this, they are narcissists, right? And I've dated girls in the past who are narcissists, right? But they're narcissists in different ways. Like, one might be super about their looks, and others are super about how they're helping people, so it's just ultimately like a lot of what they post is really for the interaction from other people, because that's the only reason to post it. Like when I post stuff or do videos, this is a business to me, so I'm letting my subscribers kind of know me a little more about the way that I think in hopes to drive more engagement and to drive more followers, right? And ultimately, like mine affiliate links, so mine is a business. If YouTube, for instance, if YouTube didn't pay for ad revenue and nobody bought anything through my affiliate links, those didn't exist, what's the point of doing YouTube? But a lot of people still continue to do social media because of the validation they get from other people. Oh, you look so great, queen, it's just all this nonsense, and that's their life. I'm not, if that makes them happy, by all means do it, but it's hard for me to relate to that.
Like me, who is naturally social, does well at it, because I love all my people.
And so Andy just said, what up, Andy? He just said, it's all become copy and paste, honestly. All their videos have the same information spliced, PowerPoint slides. Yeah, it is. It is cookie cutter. It really is. I can guarantee you that I could go do exactly what Wes Watson does tomorrow. And my channel's not going to, people are not going to, there's certain people, he emulates with a lot of people, obviously, and that's why people follow him. You'll see, a lot of people hate him and think he's a scammer and everything else, but a lot of people love them. And it's just like our politics too. Some people hate Trump. Some people love Trump. I'm not going to get political with you folks. Believe what you want to believe. But it doesn't matter how much evidence you put out there when it comes to politics, or even with West. Doesn't matter how many guys are going to post that he's a scammer, he's doing this, he's doing that. People are still going to buy his programs. You're not going to bring them down. I find it hard to believe that you will. We live in a different society. Maybe if Wes Watson was around 30 years ago, you might, well, we didn't really have the internet the same way we do nowadays, but if we go back, say 20 years, and you had a guy like this, very successful, and you had guys trying to bring him down, it might have worked. Information just doesn't work the same way it used to. But it is very cookie cutter, the alpha male. I find it ridiculous. I find it comical because they're all just like copying like one another. It's just like the chicks and ladies, if you have the big blown up lips, by all means, if it makes you feel better about yourself, great. But there is a real cookie cutter look nowadays. I feel like with a lot of women, the Kardashian thing, the duck lips, the big blown up lips, the giant tits, and hey, if that makes you feel good about yourself, great, right? If you're a good person, you're kind to others, do what makes you happy, but it is very cookie cutter. It's not unique, right? So, I don't know. And everything's kind of, not everything out there, it has been duplicated at some point, right? So, I don't know. There's a limit to how unique you can be. That's why I always say, like, when people express themselves in different ways, I always find it very interesting, and I always find it refreshing. This whole, that's one reason why, nothing against the tattoos, fellas. That's one reason, why I don't get them. Because everybody and their brother has tattoos, right? But there's a lot of people without tattoos. But I just think this whole look of, the big, buff, meathead, steroid freak with the, tattoos everywhere. It's just so cookie cutter nowadays. It's not unique, so I don't know. No disrespect to anybody. If it makes you happy, that's all that matters, but but I think the real problem is they act like it's so unique. So
well, I love being on here. I love this interaction, but I was in the penitentiary. So I was in the penitentiary for 10 years, and when I started posting on my Instagram in prison on burner phones.
So here's another thing about that. I don't think if you were in prison for a crime, you should be allowed to do anything that could potentially benefit you on taxpayer dollars. If you're in prison, you should be making license plates, picking up garbage on the road, and not doing anything to build your brand at all. But that's my opinion. I'm sure somebody who was in the penitentiary would feel differently, but I don't think. You're paying your debt to society, and you should be paying your debt to society, not marketing your business. So, hey, it is what it is. Andy just said each industry has one guy like Wes Watson. They benefit all the people's desperation and get rich, get fit quick. They just need to find their own motivation. Absolutely. I totally agree. Motivation comes from winning. How much better is it when you say, I'm just going to use myself as an example. I don't go to the gym. One thing I never liked was going to the gym. I don't like to be around people. I don't like that I didn't like that 15 years ago. I sure as hell would really hate it nowadays. So I bought cheap Walmart weights, and then I upgraded to Olympic set, of course. But a lot of this stuff is really cheap. You don't need. I remember being a young guy and getting used to working out at Gold's and having their really nice bench presses, like with any modern gym, right? And then I'd go home and try to use my Marcy bench press. It was real narrow, and I was like, I can't do it on this. But you know what? When you want to do it enough, you'll do it. I bought a very inexpensive Walmart bench. I've had it for about 4 years now. It works great. It folds up. Now, would I want to go, if I was capable of benching 500 pounds, would I want to use that? Probably not, right? We don't know, how well it's made, but, there's nothing more motivating than knowing that it's all on you. There's nobody forcing me to go out in the driveway, in the rain, in the snow to go get my workouts in, or go into the garage in the freezing cold weather, right? I always compare it kind of like Rocky when he's training in Rocky 4, right? In the snow, basic stuff, still getting the job done, and Dolph Lundgren's got all the high-tech shit. At the end of the day, it's not rocket science. It's just really putting in the hard work and doing it. I tell my coworker all the time, he's like, I want to start working out, and he should, right? For lots of reasons, but you don't need anything more than a pull-up bar and some push-ups. That's a start. And if you start your goal small and make it routine and habit, you'll continue to do it. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to want to do it. You have to want to chase a change in the way that you look. And if you're not going to do that, there's nobody that's going to be able, drag, unless you're filthy rich and you have a trainer to drag you. But you look at a lot of movie stars. A lot of them don't look like that when they're outside of doing a movie. And, when you're getting paid millions of dollars to do something, it's a lot lot easier to do it because you're being pushed. It's your job. Most people don't want to go to their job. I don't want to go to my job a lot of times, but it's how you pay the bills. So if you're lucky enough to have a job that you absolutely love and it's what you've always wanted to do, then you may feel differently. But for the most part, like working out for me is not something that I absolutely love. I love the benefits and I don't hate it, so that's why I'm able to do it. But I like it a lot more now that I do it at home as opposed to ever going to the gym, right? Very easy for me to, in the past, to be like, I don't feel like going down today. Whereas here, I can just kind of, crack out there for 20 minutes. Maybe I'm feeling a little run down, a little off. I can say, let me get a 20-minute workout. At least I did something. And then as I'm going through the workout, I may say, hey, I start to feel a little better. Let me continue on. Let me blast through it. So you do have to find the motivation on your own, right? But there are a lot of lost people out there.
I'm buying burner phones in prison for $1,500 a pop with green dots and shit, and I'm.
One would think being in prison, it's like I feel like with Wes Watson, prison is like his whole identity. It's like his whole theme. Came from nothing, or came from a terrible situation being in prison, right? And probably for something that he, obviously he probably did it, right? Whatever it was, I don't know what it was, but it's like. They just always have to really let you know. It seems like he always wants you to know he was in prison.
I'm just fucking getting on Instagram and I'm posting some positive.
One would think you'd want to put that life behind you, but he's almost like he's proud that he was in prison. I don't think it's anything to be proud of.
Shit. I posted in all black and white from 2013. And then when I got out, I put up a color pic. I said, I'm out. Watch what I could do, motherfucker.
Crazy.
And so I went.
I don't know if he actually did that or not. I haven't watched all his content, or I haven't watched really much of his content, but I think most people like a comeback story. I think seeing somebody I think what probably got him rolling, I'm just speculating here, what probably got him really rolling in this kind of success that he's achieved is just the fact that that you come out of prison without much and you're able to, I guess, build your brand. But he did it on taxpayer dime in prison. So when people are like, I'm self-made, it's like, not really, dude. You were able to not have to go to your 9 to 5 and go and post whatever the fuck you wanted in prison. So nobody is really self-made. Lots of people help you along the way, whether you realize it or not.
From getting out with $200 7 years ago to where I'm at today. So
it is incredible, actually, to where he is. Absolutely is to be commended. But
it's like the trajectory has been crazy, but
But it's always very easy for somebody who is there and made it there to then say, look at me, look what I did. A lot of people have a lot of luck along the way, right? Timing is everything. What's up, Adrian? Yeah, man. Adrian just said, all a bit no hum. People living their life online and looking for affirmation from followers. Most of us don't care. Got our own stuff to deal with. Each to their own, I guess. Yeah, man, I'm with you on that. We all, I don't know. I guess I'm just not. I find it very difficult. I do these videos, and I share the products with you folks, and we, bullshit about stuff like this. But I don't know. You just see people nonstop posting shit. I don't know. That's why I'm not. I guess not very successful on Instagram for sure, because I'm just not. Every time I post a picture of me posing with a leather jacket, I'm like, dude, I feel like a douchebag. But dude, your own.
a lot of people see the pluses and minuses of quick fame and all this shit and quick success. And it may not be for a lot of people. You got to be that motherfucker who wants the stage, wants the spotlight. Is like, you got to be that. There's two types.
No, that is really true. I mean, if we're being real, like, you can't, like, you have to want the attention. You have to like being the spotlight. And I feel like Wes Watson really, I've heard him say in a lot of videos, like, he's famous. And I guess he is famous to kind of a point, but he's not like movie star famous. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people in this world don't know who Wes Watson, who the fuck is that, right? And so if you say like Brad Pitt or like a movie star, even like a celebrity who's not really known to be in a lot of films, like most people know them, like he's not even close to that. And so he's just some meathead fitness influencer, which, you know, that's absolutely got a great following, makes a great living doing so. Wonderful for him, but this guy isn't a celebrity, you know. But I guess, yeah, like Andy said, niche famous. Absolutely, you know. Yeah.
Types of motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. There's a guy who walks in the room.
But he is this is a narcissist. Like, he loves the attention. Like, loves, you know, giving advice, acting like he knows everything about everything. And, you know, I don't know. We'll come back to that.
Room and says, there you are. And the motherfucker walks through and says, here I am. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that's just what's
I know what
needed
you're talking
nowadays. So building that confidence in everybody who follows me is my main goal.
That's
You're not everybody who follows you. Like I've seen dudes who have talked and come out and said, you know, how like they got scammed and how they, you know, they barely had any interaction with them. There's plenty of dudes like who are doing research, and I'm just speaking on what I've watched. Right, I can't confirm or deny that. I'm not trying to say anything bad about anybody, but you know, like there's a lot of people who feel scammed by this guy. And whether that, you know, maybe there's a bunch who feel great, who he's really helped. Who knows? But yeah.
That's so dope. And a lot of people, I just heard you say you've been on this journey for damn near almost a decade, right? People see you now, they mean,
See, that's really upsetting to me. That not really upsetting. I'm just using, you know, for, you know, figure of speak. But you know, like you're on for a decade, you know, from prison on taxpayer dime, paying society for something that he did that violated the law, and he's sitting here gonna come out, you know, he's a millionaire now. So to me, I find that very upsetting. You should be in there making fucking license plates, mopping floors, and fucking trying to better yourself. And you know, if you were with the working out and all that stuff, great. But you know, this is not a law-abiding citizen, in my opinion, and probably never will be. He's always looking for some way to, you know, get an angle on something. You know, like we mentioned, buying burner phones. Like phones, I don't believe are allowed in prison, but yet, yeah, you get one anyway. Do what I want to do. I don't care. You know.
then he got all these followers. I see him on the blogs. I see him in content. But talk about a little more that time where you were shooting content from burner phones, because a lot of people make excuses about why they can't put out content or why they can't do things. But you took a situation and you made it something where
There should honestly be a like a YouTube. Maybe there is, but there should be like a YouTube like policy that if you were in prison, you should not be like uploading videos from a burner phone. If that's even true, like we don't know. Only he knows the truth. But regardless, like you should not be allowed. And if YouTube should have a policy that says if you are in any kind of penitentiary, like you don't get to build your brand. You know,
where most people
but that's my opinion.
wouldn't be able to get off the ground. So talk to that.
Well, the biggest minds in any space, they'll know the audience comes last. So your true like motivation and true power comes from creating stuff that you like. So you'll never run low of motivation. You'll never not have inspiration. The well will never be tapped and run dry if you make the content for you.
I agree with that. Yeah, you have to. I mean, if you're doing something like, well, it's also about money, right? So if you have money, that's motivation for doing stuff, right? And money is motivation for lying too. And so like if you're, you know, if you have a love of working out and you can put up content like it's me with watches. I really enjoy watches. So putting up a watch video is very easy because I really enjoy it. But everything gets monotonous in time. You know, everything kind of becomes routine. But if tomorrow, as much as I like watches, if tomorrow YouTube stopped paying, right, there was no motivation for making money, there would be no reason. I would just enjoy watches on my own. It's a lot of work to do all this stuff, right? And so I keep doing it because money keeps coming in, not Wes Watson money. Not like there's YouTubers out there making a shit ton. Mine is a little bit here and there, but and you could very easily, for you folks who don't know how it works, like you're not. I saw one of his minions the other day claiming he made $1,500 off like his views per month. But if you go to like Social Blade, and take Social Blade with a grain of salt, but generally a rule of thumb is like it's what is it, 3 cents per 1,000 views? No, it's 0.003 cents, 0.003 of a cent per view. It's about 3 cents, I think, per 1,000 views, roughly. So, you know, you don't make, based on his views, I think I posted somewhere, like, that's like more like $150. So, you know, like, a lot of these guys are full of it. But, like, when you have the kind of views that Wes Watson has, absolutely he's doing very well. But, I digress.
So even when I was in prison, I was getting 75 or 100 likes. I'm like, that's a bad motherfucker right there. Look at that fool on his rack right there. That fool fucking built that body. That fool built that mindset. That fool overcame that shit. And that picture, that moment was powerful to me. It was like art. So I
mean, it was interesting too. It's like, I guess you can get everything in prison. I don't know how you get steroids in prison, but I mean, drugs are there. I'm sure, you know, I don't. Only Wes Watson knows if he's on steroids or not. In my opinion, he is. I could be totally wrong, but to me, all these guys that look like this, I watch them work out and just don't see a lot of on some of these videos, a lot of effort. Granted, they're in the gym, but I mean, they act like it's like a hard thing to do. I mean, if all you have to do, like, think about this guy's life. He was in prison. He had no job that he hated to go to. Be in prison, I'm not saying it's a picnic. I've never been in prison, nor would I ever want to go to prison. But I'm sure it's not a fun place to be. But I mean, you don't have to go to the grind. Like, you're basically like doing things to, a lot of people are getting education in prison. None of this shit should be happening. You're doing things to better your life and pay back your debt to society. But again, just my opinion. But you're basically just working out. Like, you're just doing things to keep your mind occupied. And when you're in real life, like, people are going to work and working a job that maybe isn't their, something they fulfills them, they love. They have families, they have parents to care for, they have, mortgages to pay, lots of things that are stressors in their life, their health, and lots of things. And it's like, dude, like, I honestly, not to be a little narcissistic, but I find myself more motivational to hear my story when you're like working a full-time job doing like YouTube. I mean, I spent a lot of time doing this, and then still find time to, see the family that I love, do things for my mom and dad who are older, and my own house, their house, and other things that I have commitments to. So, and to still find the time to get out there and do my workouts. If you want to do something, you'll find the time to do it, is my point. But they all act like this is like some real hustle and grind. Like, this is fucking easy, living in mansions and fucking like driving around in supercars and having money just rolling in and going to the gym and eating. Like, how fucking simple can life be for a person? Like, this is stress-free. I mean, give me a fucking break.
I've been creating posts and showing my lifestyle and everything I like.
What lifestyle? Like, you're in prison and you get out and you're working out. Like doing burpees in your living room and hitting the gym. This is easy shit.
To where now people watch my shit and they think everything's a music video. But if you go back to the Wes Watson before prison, that's what I liked.
That's it.
I was pushing weight. I liked, my cars needed fucking rims on them. I was a flossy motherfucker. That's what I fucking like.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I can relate to that. Like, I definitely like I don't have giant gold chains, but if I had lots of money, like, I have some like chains that are like, I have some Temu chains, and I have some sterling silver chains, and you guys know I like the watches, big Invictus, smaller watches, like my little Duke So I'm wearing here. It's not really a small watch, but I mean, I'm into the flashy. I can totally relate. I put rims on the car. I don't leave anything, but it's what you're into. I like the idea of customizing things. I'm sure he's obviously the same way. That's not unique. Like, lots of people are into customizing things. Lots of people wear jewelry. So it's like, Andy just said they act like it's a 9 to 5 when really most of what they do is what an average worker can do on their own downtime. Absolutely, yeah, I totally agree. Like, these guys are not. I mean, I shouldn't say they're not, but I don't know if these guys have like, all right, waking up, got to get my workout in, got to get all my meals. All right, I got my appointment here between 9 and 10. And then I have a client between 10 and 11, and then between 11 and 12, and they have like a whole day booked. Like, I feel like these guys just make content, take a few phone calls, and have cash just rolling in. I think that's why a lot of people have a problem with him, because they say he's a scammer, and he's just basically collecting money for these like life coaching programs, these workout routines. It's basically like some fucking app with some basic workout routine. It's like, I just feel like it's kind of like almost like a bait and switch type of thing. Oh, it's kind of like pyramidish too, because he's bringing people in beneath them. He's showing, like, it's like cookie cutter. Do what I do. You get your workout programs, and you do the same thing. It's just, I don't know. If it works for you, great. Do not hurt anybody. Maybe he is hurting people, but I have no idea. Nor do I fucking care.
Up to all that type of lifestyle. So then now,
the lifestyle. It's not a lifestyle. Like, putting rims on your car is not a lifestyle. Like, dude, it's just something you like. It's like me going around being like, yeah, man, I put 20s on the Solar. Man, I'm living that lifestyle. It's like, what lifestyle, dude? I'm going to my 9 to 5. I'm fucking doing the things that normal people do. If I was filthy rich tomorrow, those things would still happen. Like, I'd still be mowing the lawn. I'd still be, like, putting wax on my car. It's because it's what I like to do, right? I like to care for my folks. I like to do things to help them. Now, if we were filthy rich, would I still mow the lawn? I think I would. I need something to keep me occupied. working out does not fulfill me enough. You work out maybe an hour a day. Like, you don't have to put in 8 hours in the gym. These guys probably work out for 45 minutes. And then what do? They go around, drive around, and like, I feel like they'd be bored half the time.
I get to showcase from the penitentiary with the habits and what a man, if he's disciplined enough, can pull off in the end. But the thing is, the audience comes last.
Nonsense, dude. If a man is disciplined enough, like, dude, I've been putting out content way longer than Wes Watson. Do you see my channel, like, with 1 million subscribers? No, I, like, nickel and diamond those subscriber count. And that's just because I may not resonate with a lot of people. Some people may not look at me and say, that's the lifestyle I want to live. And that's okay. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm going to do. But there's no advice Wes Watson can give me on how to grow my channel that's going to make a change. Unless I start, like, getting a bunch of tattoos, injecting anabolic steroids, and working out with a bunch of dudes, like, in a jail type setting or whatever he does. You know, and then maybe that's what people like to see. But that's not my style. I would never do that. You have to be real to yourself. I would never do that. That's just not what I feel happy doing, right?
And if you make shit for the audience will never show up. And if you make it for yourself, that's the best thing you can do for the audience, because
total nonsense right there.
You're purely authentic,
Pure gibberish
at that moment.
Damn,
that's backwards. When you make, absolutely, I see what he's trying to say, though. Yeah, when you're doing stuff that's for yourself, right, you're being real to you, and I totally get that, right? Which is why when I review an Invicta watch, it doesn't resonate with the rest of the watch world, right? Most people, watch reviewers, review Rolex. You have to kiss the ring to really be a successful watch review channel. Luxury brands are what really sells. People living, I guess, through the eyes of somebody else, these lavish luxury brands. Whereas, like, I just not into that. So that hurts my channel. And I know this because there's been videos I put up that talk about Rolex. Anytime I mention the word Rolex, it always does better. So should I just continue on creating content that's, for, mentioning, if I wanted to really resonate and grow the channel more, I'd focus on luxury brands. But focusing on what I like obviously isn't growing the channel like a channel like this. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think you doing stuff for yourself, I think if you have a little of both, then that's optimum. But yeah, he continues to do what he does because it makes him money. It's not if there's no money coming in, he wouldn't do it. So that's just bullshit.
That's so good. So essentially what I'm hearing is that you were rich long before you were actually getting to the money. You had the confidence even when shit wasn't going your way, even when you were locked up. Most people, they let their current situation kind of dictate where they'll be. But what I'm hearing is you were that dude in your head and the money just caught up to you based on you being disciplined.
Well, I always say it's not how, it's who. And if I turn anybody into that motherfucker who's just a spotlight taken, just fucking driven individual who can't be stopped, there's nothing he can't do. And just by default, everyone else will quit.
Yeah.
That guy won't. That guy's more focused in 2025 on building that individual who can take the spotlight, take the camera, take the attention.
It's funny though. They act like there's a lot of like thought that goes into this. This is timing. This success on this. There are so many dudes who are doing this exact thing on YouTube that just don't resonate with people. For whatever reason, the YouTube algorithm has helped him. His brand, his style, his look. That obviously people like that, right? A lot of people don't, of course. But for, like, he mentioned something earlier about, like, you're just tapping into a little portion. If you could tap into a little portion, you'll be successful. But just doing exactly what he's doing is not going to guarantee you success. Because if it did, you look at, like, one of his little minions, or what's his name, something Rye or Die, or what's his name, Colin. He's one of the guys who follows him around a lot of his videos. Like, his channel has like 5,000 subs. It ain't, you won't think if you copied the program completely, then you would blow up. And that's not the case. So there's no set one like way of doing something. A lot of it has to do with, of course, hard work. And he obviously puts the time in making videos and works out and takes care of himself. But, yeah, there's no guarantees that somebody else can do that and you'll get success. Give me a break.
And we'll take that attention, we'll monetize it. Exactly. We'll only sell stuff that really changed our lives, but that's the whole thing. We're going to change our life first, and then our goal is to pass that knowledge on to other people.
So good. So good. So what are your thoughts?
What knowledge, though? What knowledge are we passing on to other people? Because everything I've heard is like, making a YouTube video is fucking easy. I mean, if you want to, of course, mine are not edited. If you want to pay somebody to edit or you want to learn how to edit it, but at the end of the day, there's not like an insane difference in the ultimate result. You're putting up a video, and so if you're, I just think a lot of these fitness influencers are successful because of the whole fucking they're jacked, and so many people who want to be in better shape, they take advice from people who are jacked and in good shape, whether that came naturally or not. So I'll never believe that this guy is not on steroids ever, right? And if I'm wrong, that doesn't matter, whatever. But it's just not. There's a dude I watch on Instagram too. He's like a real short dude, which for me to say that, like, I'm not dissing, like, he's shorter than me, and I'm not a tall dude. I'm 5'8", and like, I'm 5'8", and I mean it. Like, I'm not like 5'6", We'll get to that too. But he's like, I think he's like 5'5". He's just fucking jacked, and he's pretty entertaining. I follow my Instagram, but like, his channel is not blowing up, and he's got the tats, he's got the strength, he's got the build. Just doesn't resonate with people. It's just the way it is.
I know you talk a lot about discipline, and it seems like that's the thing that's got you where you are, right? And a lot of people here that need to be disciplined, but what are some actual actionable steps someone can do to become more disciplined for the...
You know what'll make you disciplined? Millions of dollars rolling in every month. That'll make you disciplined. Keep working out, keep looking this way to secure millions coming in. Anybody will be disciplined. Anybody will do that.
Person who doesn't know.
See, I do everything I don't want to do. So everything I don't want to do is what I have to do because that's overcoming that hurdle.
So he doesn't want to work out. I thought he loved doing that. So he contradicts what he said earlier. So he does everything he doesn't want to do. Maybe he'll elaborate on that a little further.
That fucking mindset trick. People are like, hey, what do you do for mindset training? Like it's a plus. But all wisdom that you'll
This is as bad as fucking religion, honestly. Mindset training.
ever hear about is what not to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like,
now, the human mind is extremely powerful. And yeah, you can definitely, I don't mean to like discredit what he's saying entirely, but if you are a kind of person, here's mind training. Nobody's going to teach you how to think, right? And so you have to sort of kind of force yourself. There's always going to be good and bad that comes with life. Life's a roller coaster. You can be on top of the world one day feeling amazing, and next day it can crumble. Your health is something that we don't always have control over that, right? And so health is number one. But you mindset, when you, for instance, I'll give you kind of the way I think a lot of times, right? As we get older and the people we love get older, your time is limited on this earth for everybody, right? And so I really try, like, those days where I get up and I have aches and pains like everybody else, like a lot of people, right? There's things that bug me in life like any other human being. But when for instance, let's say I go to work, right? I'm like, I like being off more than I like to work. So when I get up to go to work and I'm like, fuck, I gotta go do this shit, I try to change the way that I think about it and say, well, maybe I won't be here tomorrow. Maybe I'll, it was like a father and son. What was it recently? It was on the golf course playing golf, and a fucking lightning hit a tree. The tree fell over on top of the golf cart, and all the area for the tree to fall and for the cart to be fell on top of the golf cart, killed the son and his father. So it's like, talk about bad timing, So you just never know. And recently, like, there's a girl that I used to hang out with back in the day. She was like, pretty young, and she never smoked a day in her life, never did a drug, and developed lung cancer and died. And so it's just like, you just never know. So I really try to wake up and say, you know what, today, I'm breathing, and I feel pretty good today. So let me enjoy this day, because tomorrow is not guaranteed. So, but mind training, I don't think that. This is not a clinical psychologist here, right? So there's nothing that he's going to tell you to do. Oh, hit more weights. It's like, dude, that's not the answer to everything.
like I get up every morning at 2:45 a.m. and I've never wanted to get up at that time.
If you're getting up at 2 in the morning and you're getting, well, let's see if you talk about how much sleep he gets.
Thing is I get up at that time because it hardens me. I know I'm first place. I'm up first. So I do all these things that.
That's just delusional thinking. You think so? Or if he really thinks it, it's a real lack of the ability to critically think. The fact that you get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, the human body is the human body. Like, you can get away with maybe a little bit of being being sleep deprived, but that catches up. There's nothing superhuman about Wes Watson or any other human being who claims I only need 4 hours sleep. Like, dude, I got 2 hours less last night. I normally get 7 to 8. And dude, 2 hours, man. I'm tired as fuck today, you know? And so, you know, this is just pure bullshit, pure gibberish. Getting up at 2 in the morning. I used to get up at 2 in the morning because I had to start at fucking 3. And so it's like, dude, it didn't make me any more hardened. You know, it's just fucking, this is the narcissist taking every little thing they do and making it sound like it's some amazing achievement. It's absolutely delusional. Randy just said mind training sounds like less threatening brainwash. Yeah, it does, man. It's just, but it's sad that we live in a population of people where they buy into this bullshit.
It solidify in my mindset that I'm better than everyone else, and people are like, "You're better than him."
So what about the dude that gets up at 2:30? I think he said. What about the dude who gets up at 1? That means he's better than you. So like if he's going up at 1 o'clock to go fry the donuts, you know, even though he doesn't make shit for money, right? Let's say minimum wage job, he gets up at 1. He's still better than you because he beat you. Like this whole alpha male bullshit. This is just so stupid.
I'm like, I chose to work harder and do more, so I'm better.
If I actually was like listening to a guy, like if let's say he was a customer or something like that, or I had to interact with him at like a client level, and I had to interact with somebody like this, I'd be like, dude, I could not stand to sit there. I'd have to find an excuse to like leave. Like I'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about? And to anybody with common sense and the ability to critically think, they just know this guy's a fucking idiot.
At being me, and I tell people all the time, I'm like, you suck at being.
James, what's up, man? We got some new names here today. It's pretty awesome, man. Welcome. Thanks for popping in. James said the human mind is very powerful. It absolutely is, and very gullible. For many, yes.
And you, motherfucker.
And the old saying too, like only a stupid person doesn't learn from their mistakes, resonates at me all the time. Try to learn from mistakes. If you consider that you made a mistake, you know, sometimes we do things that no matter what, we won't. And it's not about fessing up and admitting being wrong. Sometimes we really don't think we made a mistake. And then you may not be able to learn something from it. But maybe, you know, time has a way of, with most people, I think, strengthening your thought process. So I think that, you know, that's why, you know, I always look back into when people say, oh, he was just young once. Well, there's a reason people say that all the time, right? So I know I look at some of my earlier videos and I say, you know, maybe that wasn't the best thing to say. Or maybe I could have approach that a little more mature, a little different. But, you know, I don't know. James just said the irony of this alpha male mindset of his and how it ended up being his own downfall. I don't see, you say his downfall. He's not on a downfall at all. So that's what's funny about a lot of these guys who are making money off him, you know, with these critique videos. He's not going anywhere. Like, this is the society we live in. There's so much misinformation. It doesn't matter. People don't care.
And they're like, what do you mean I suck at being me? I'm like, I could tell you don't hold your word to yourself. Yeah. When was the last time you held your fucking word to yourself? I mean, it was January 9th right now. How many of you fucking motherfuckers, how many of you people watching have really stuck to your goals? And I mean, the thing is fuck all the money, fuck all the stuff.
Oh, give me a break. Fuck all the money, fuck all the stuff. So let me get this straight. Based on this mindset, fuck all the money. So if he doesn't make any money with coaching, he doesn't, let's say he makes no money tomorrow with YouTube, channel gone, clients gone, website gone, he's gonna still continue to like crack out videos and go help people. People do things for money. This is just absolute nonsense to me. And anybody with 2 brain cells in their head can be able to look at this guy and say he's a grifter. Absolutely. You're
gonna have to pull up. And are you proud of who you are? And they'll see me with some bitches or something, or I always have.
First of all, why would you want to refer to women as bitches, right? I mean, this is the same kind of mindset. This is the way guys talk when they're 19 years old who grew up a certain way, right? This is not the way a grown man articulates the things he wants to say. And if this was the kind of guy I was considering hiring as a life coach, I would absolutely have to question the way that he articulates what he's trying to tell you, right? To be calling people bitches. This is an arrogant narcissist. And if you like that, if you want to be that, then of course, then you might hire this guy and take his advice. But to me, this is just not somebody I would ever take seriously.
Have relationship issues and they're like, she's only in it for the money. I say, God damn, I'm handsome too, motherfucker. Leave me alone with that shit. But
I mean, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I'm sure lots of women think he's handsome. I'm sure lots of women think he's a douchebag. I'm sure lots of women think he's fucking ugly and ridiculous, right? There's always going to be somebody who loves you and hates you. That's just the way it is. No matter how conservative you are or over the top you are. So, yeah.
but then the whole thing is I'll hit him with like, bro, like I'm not in it for what she likes or what the fuck she wants of me. I'm the person who backs me. I validate me, not one man.
No, absolutely not. No. Yeah, you could validate yourself as well, but you don't post shit and put up videos and you don't. Fitness influencers are, a lot of them are narcissists, right? It's not like he's putting up content giving information about this is how you do a curl for folks who are like, maybe starting to get their feet wet, or there's nothing of information here. There's nothing that you can't find on your own. He's not providing any real substance to anything he's saying. He's just basically like, in a nutshell, he's like, I did it. What's wrong with you? And I'm going to show you how to do it, which is just complete nonsense. James Martin said his downfall, this macho guy that acted out in his own anger is now facing felony charges. Yeah, so, so that has not been finalized yet, though, at least as far as I'm concerned. I think for those who don't know, he's very aggressive, right? And so and I get that because I've kind of been that way at times, right? And I think a lot of times, the internet can be a difficult place sometimes when people are, because in the internet, people do things they wouldn't do on the street. Like, we all know that. Like, there are some people who will, though, right? And so if you're going to call people out all the time, like, eventually somebody's going to show up. If you're like, hey, dude, show up at the gym and fight me, like, somebody will eventually take you up on that. It's better just not to do that. And you have to understand, like, as a felon, you're living, this is where somebody should look at a guy like this and say, dude, I kind of question this guy's thought process. If you like everything else he says, and you want to be a narcissist, and you want to look like this, and you want to emulate this, one should question, like, why would you just spend so much time in prison? Why would you get out and had this opportunity to make a shit ton of money, started in prison for what he says, and now this level of success with, whether he rents his lifestyle or not, it still takes money to rent it, right? So he's living this type of lifestyle. He has money, obviously, right? It may not be what he claims, but he has money. Let's not pretend he doesn't. So, like, why would you put that at a risk for just a bunch of nonsense online? Like, you're already killing it. Let people talk, defend yourself. There's nothing wrong with that, but challenging people to fight you and then getting involved in something where it's just like, you have all your buddies there. For those who don't know, like, a guy came down to the gym, challenging me, had like 4 of his friends, and they all kind of like backed up Wes, So it's like, that's not really macho to me. That's not alpha to me. So I don't know. I just think that one should really question this guy's judgment to have achieved what has achieved. Granted, right or wrong, done the right way or wrong way, whatever, he's achieved it, and to risk it with something so silly, to me, really, you have to take into consideration, like, this guy's judgment,
And can give me the validation that I can give myself. And I only did that with my daily habits. Like I said, waking up at 2:45. I read positive shit to put my mind right. I work out every day. I track the nutrition I eat so that I have the body I want.
Easy.
And I don't do drugs or drugs.
Yeah, you don't do drugs. Bullshit. But again, I just want to be clear. I don't know that. Maybe he's got amazing genetics, and this is just how his body reacts to... But one would think that if you had this amazing, like, you track the macros and you're super healthy, one would think that you would, like, be posting some of this stuff, right? Like, there's little tidbits to kind of validate your skill set, but it's never anything like that. So James has said it's always these types of guys who behind the scenes crash out over a girl. Yeah, and even if he does, like, everybody takes heartache in a different way. I know I have not always been the best when it comes to becoming emotionally invested with my heart, with women. But everybody deals with grief in their own way, and if he crashes out over that, fine. But I don't know. But he always, like, it's one thing to maybe. I don't know if he's ever come out and been like, fuck a bitch, I don't care. Maybe he goes home and cries about it. I don't know. To me, it's like a very minor thing to whether he goes home and cries about it or not, only he knows.
Drink. So, that's my main 5 things that I want everyone to do who's fucking watching this. If you want to level up, you're a kid, or you're fucking just still a fucking baby boy in a grown man's body, then I want you to do these things. I want you to just build the confidence in you first. And then I don't give a fuck where you take it. You'll beat everybody in that field because...
Nonsense. I do kind of think, though, I think if you build your confidence and you're secure in yourself, I do think that helps too. Most people, when they get to a level of confidence, they're nicer to other people usually. They want to bring up others. If you watch the video where he was, I forget the guy, they had like some kind of on stage talking thing with alpha males and regular dudes. And he just like was super offensive, like making fun of the guys, and he had titties and all this shit. It's like that may not be a priority for him to stay in shape. It doesn't mean he may not have a bigger bank account, right? And so, you know, we look at a lot of guys who are very successful businessmen. A lot of them, you know, there's a lot of real fat porkers out there who are filthy fucking rich. And so, you know, obviously they didn't need working out and a disciplined diet routine to get that level of success. So it's just nonsense to me that one would think that, yeah, do these 5 things, work out, blah, 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 blah. You know, it's just total grifting bullshit. But I do think, though, if you do feel good about yourself and you look in the mirror and you're happy, I think that does help to, you know, I don't know, put on a different light, you know, when you go. I know when I leave the house, I feel good about me. I feel good when I look in the mirror. And I think that having confidence is attractive, I think, in you know, in people. But I think that whatever makes you, like what I mentioned earlier about the fake tits and the lips, like if that makes a girl feel better doing that and she feels better, then it's good. As long as she's being nice to people, then that's great for her, right? I mean, whether I like it or not, it's irrelevant. If you do something to make you feel good, and if working out changes your body, you lose some weight, you feel better about yourself, I think you just are going to be overall happier, and happier people, I think, treat people better, right? And are nicer to people. So, you know, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with the message. It's just kind of how he goes about it, as if it's like the only message.
You no longer fucking tap on what needs to be done each day.
That's it. Now that's so good. So purpose, acting now, not listening to other people. So how does this translate?
I mean, how could even for the guy interviewing, like, how could this is good? Like, you've never heard this before. Like, how do you become a grown man and not like ever think about this on your own? You know, I mean, we just have some stupid people out there, I guess. I mean, this is something that a normal, sane, like healthy thinking mind should think about at some point on their own in life, you know?
In the business. Obviously, we know as entrepreneurs, of course, you know, how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So I know you got a ton of students that are killing it. I personally know some. What is that transition or that process you take them through to get to where they are, to where they want to be in terms of growing their business online?
So I only teach what I've done. And that's a problem with a lot of people.
All right, hang on. I got to check a text message here. See, it never ends. Busy. Sorry, folks.
People nowadays. I mean, even our school system, these are people who are trying to teach you money and they don't even got fucking money. So, I mean, the point is I built a version of me, which was
not necessarily like, so he's like, they don't even have money. So that's like to him, and I've seen some of his content before. To this guy, like, if you don't have money, you're kind of a piece of shit, right? You what's wrong with you? You don't like money. And not everybody wants money. Like, some people want enough money to be comfortable. Some people do want to be rich. For me, I would absolutely love to be rich. I mean, but I'm not alone in that. Lots of people feel that way, right? Because it's freedom to do a lot of things and to have a lot of things. But like, my dad is not materialistic at all. And my dad could be a millionaire tomorrow, and he's not going to go out and buy a Bugatti. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to buy a Bugatti. I think it's very wasteful, and I'm not really into Bugatti. Would I have a lot of really cool cars? Absolutely. But I wouldn't get rid of the cars that I have, right? The cars that I worked for, slaved away for, and that I still take care of and baby. You know, like, those mean something to me. And you know, just to rent a car, this is everything about this guy seems like it's about the image. And I just feel like, you know, there's probably a legitimate reason why one would rent a car. You know, you're not, I guess, not dealing with the depreciation. You're, you know, using it for filming content. But to me, it's like, it's not yours, you know? So, I don't know. I just, this stuff is just crazy that people buy into this.
It was a skill set I learned.
What skill set? Look, wake up, eat healthy, wake up at 2 in the morning. So, from what I've heard so far, the skill set is wake up at 2:30 in the morning, and then you feel like you've beaten everybody else, except for the guys who wake up at like 2:29. And then you track your macros, and you are careful about what you eat, and you work out every day and film videos. Like, this is like...
Which was proper training, proper nutrition, and all this shit that built a man that I was proud of. And then the mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to, you know, eat right, you know, I'm like a 50-50 guy when it comes to diet. You know, like I said earlier, 50% of the time I eat healthy, and then, you know, I still get the Chipotle. But dude, these guys do that too, you know. Genetics will always play a huge role in what kind of build you're capable of. These guys always pretend like that doesn't matter. It absolutely does. You know, James has said, "Joke's on him, I never sleep." Yep. Sorry, Wes, you got beat. James Martin over here never sleeps. So he got you beat. You're the beta. He's the alpha now. So this whole alpha thing is so like childish and ridiculous. I feel like these guys are like grown men living in 19-year-olds' bodies. Like this is. Like, I remember when I was 19, I thought I was the fucking cockiest fuck. I was the cockiest fucking. I was always nice to people, but I was super cocky. I thought I could be in a boy band. It's like these stuff that I look at now and I'm like, dude, why would you think that? You can't even fucking hold a tune. You know, like it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous, you know? It's just oh my God.
Set was going against everything I ever was, which was, and even in prison, everybody's on dope, everyone's drinking, everyone's doing drugs and shit. And I had to go against everything that I ever did. Which was party and be that motherfucker and sell dope and all this shit. So I had to flip that mind.
But get those illegal burner phones. That's okay. These people always make excuses for what they do, right? Everything I do is okay, but I'm not doing it. I look down upon people for anything else they do.
Mindset that wasn't even cool anymore. That shit ain't gonna serve me. Yeah. So I had to get rid of everything that didn't serve me and do more of what did.
I think it would be more interesting to find out like how what I think is interesting about somebody like this is to actually hear the real story, you know? Maybe he's done something like that, but I'd be interested in be like, okay, what was most people have a moment for huge life changes, right? It's generally, a lot of times, in my opinion, I could be wrong, maybe I'm just speaking on some things I've been through. Sometimes, like, change, there was a moment in certain things that have happened, like, that brought on major change in things. And I feel like, did he just wake up one day and be like, I gotta get a cell phone and start a YouTube channel or an Instagram account? Like, no, like somebody gave him the motivation to do that. Whether it's somebody he saw and said, I see what this guy is doing, I want to do that, you know? Yeah,
I built the man that I admired, that I was proud of. I came out of prison and I didn't even have an idea about how I was gonna make money. I didn't care.
Yeah, see, it just contradicts himself. I thought he started this stuff in prison, you know?
I wasn't like, I'm going to make money doing this. I was like, I got online. I said, I have to share with everyone what worked for me. So I just started sharing with everybody what worked for me. And they started doing it on their own. And they're like, man, this works for me too. And then it just turned into a business.
Stop. So listen, I know that you're enjoying this episode, but I had to come on and tell you about a crazy thing that I just came up with, all right? So listen, a lot of people have been saying, Darius, the prices right now for mental.
Tens of millions of dollars for many years, like over and over, to where then finally people said, can you teach me how to be a coach like you coached me? Well, now I've sold the two things I've done. I changed my life with a different mindset, training, and nutrition. So
mindset, training, and nutrition. It's like a magic wand. And I don't mean to discredit that either. You know, like they're absolutely like, if you do things to change the way you feel, and you know, like I said earlier, like health is a big thing for everybody, right? When you're feeling good, you're feeling good. And I think we all can relate to those days where you have that are great and you feel unstoppable, and then days where you don't, you know? And so it always is wonderful to feel healthy and unstoppable and be productive. But yeah, if working out does that for you, it helps to get you in better shape. We see success stories all the time from guys who weighed 500 pounds and you know, she really changed their lifestyle and got to the point where now they're, you know, skinny and in shape and, you know, and living healthy lifestyles. That to me is a real accomplishment. Not for a guy who probably has good genetics to begin with, who went on anabolic steroids in prison and hits the weights because there's not really much else to do. To me, that's not really motivating at all. That's like, there's probably thousands of dudes who are in prison who are just absolutely jacked, right? Who probably look amazing. And so it's just fucking ridiculous. He wants to discredit or put aside the fact that he had a lot of luck, and timing is everything with luck.
So I've made tens of millions off that every year. And then I started teaching people how to build their brand, which helps people coach people in this same thing I did. So
build your brand. These guys act like they're like some like fucking like that they went to school, like the Harvard Business School, and like can teach you all kinds of shit. This is what this guy does. It's just like me. It'd be like me tomorrow. Let's just pretend for a second that a 23,400 subscriber count was incredible. When I tell people that, they're like, wow, that's impressive. And yes, I have put in a lot of hours to do that. But you can look at other channels who have like a fraction of the videos I put up who are blowing my channel away, right? And so I could very easily be like, yeah, this is what I did, man. You know, and give you guys this big line of bullshit about how successful I am and tell you that you're going to be able to do this. I can't even do this for myself again. So I tried to create a second channel. That's going to take decades to produce, right? And ultimately, if people, and a lot of it has to do with whether people really like to watch you. You know, and that's not, I'm not trying to insult myself, but unfortunately, that's just, you have to be able to resonate with people. And if your story resonates with people, I'm always going to be real to myself, whether or not you like it or not, whether anybody likes it. You like this video, great. You don't like it, click, there's the door, you know? So is that, you know, if Wes Watson has some great advice for me on what I need to do, if it doesn't fall into who I am, then I'm not going to do it. That's just how I am. So I just think that it's always the people who built the level of success who have all the fucking answers. And having money is absolutely good for him. I mean, I love to have that level of success, but not the expense of other people for sure, and not the expense of my own beliefs in myself. Yeah, he's right. He's just the loudest of all them. He says he is pretty loud, you know.
I'm one of the few people who only teach what he knows. I don't try to say I know anything else other than what I've done.
Now that's so good. That's so good. So
Zero education to back that up. Not that education, you know, real life's experience is better than education. But I mean, as somebody who's like in the fitness world, most serious fitness, I guess, coaches have some sort of level of, you know, sports nutrition. Like, what exactly does Wes Watson bring to the table other than like getting out of prison, making a bunch of videos, a shit ton of tattoos? And, you know, I think the thing that really is his level of success, the luck and the work too, which got him to this point where he's living this lifestyle that people look at and want to emulate, and he got out of prison, and from nothing, rags to riches, the old story, you know. Yeah, and James said this podcast host is a yes man. Yeah, absolutely. There's no pushing back here at all. It's just like, here's my platform. Do what you love to do the most. Talk about yourself.
I always tell people, like, the easiest way to grow any business is to be transparent. Because like you said, a lot of people online are kind of, you know, I don't want to say facade, but they're selling things that they haven't quite done based off theory. And what I'm hearing from you is it's easy for you because it's literally what you've done, right?
It's who I am.
It's who you am.
Yeah.
And when we think...
So how's that different than like the millions of other fitness influencers out there? Like, they all do the same shit, you know?
Of money, most people, they think, damn, what do I have to do? Like, even people come to me, what do I have to do to get to the money? It's not what you have to do, is who you have to become.
It's who you have to become. I have to become great at this thing that people want to learn. So, I mean, I have to be the greatest.
But I thought you do it for you, right? So, you know, I mean, I have to be great at the thing people want to learn. Now, his statement wasn't, I have to be great at the thing that I love because I'm being real to myself. It's, I have to be great at the thing that people want. Yeah, absolutely. If you do something that people want, you're gonna be successful. If I go sell all my watches tomorrow and become the Rolex guy, my channel will be much more successful. Absolutely.
In this, and then they'll hire me. If you were the greatest lawyer, you get paid more. I mean, it just, the whole point is
That's
I just beat.
There's lots of amazing lawyers who, you know, do pro bono work, who are, hopefully Wes is going to hire an amazing lawyer for his own sake. You know, I mean, that's not the case. Like, a lot of people do things for a lot of different reasons, and there's lots of really great people in lots of different fields who don't get paid the most. And I know you didn't say that, but you don't just get paid more because you do more work or because you're better at it. That's not always the case.
Everybody at it. If you watch my Instagram and you watch other people's Instagram, I beat everybody. Right. My cars are better. I'm in better shape. I speak.
No, what a fucking, you beat everybody. Really, you beat Elon Musk because, like, and I'm not an Elon Musk fan, but like, you don't even have you're like this, a little speck of sand in all the sands of the world compared to the money he has. So it's actually comical. I mean, Jay Leno's got like what, over 100 cars. Like, in the car world, like, you're nothing. He doesn't even own his cars. So it's like, dude, driving a rented car. There's lots of people driving rented cars. There's nothing unique to this, but he tries to sell it
better, and that's maybe biased. Some people say, no, his is probably better, or his is good. That's what I teach my people, is to only look at your shit, validate your shit, put your heart into it.
Another contradiction. Teach my people to only look at your shit, but he's like, mine's better than you. He's always worried about somebody else.
And then honestly, like, critique your shit.
That's it.
Like, if his is better than yours, Get to the level. Like, don't fucking.
I mean, his cars aren't even
Give your-
impressive. Like, they're just basic. Like, there's nothing. You know, when you look at the customized car world, like when I look at a stock like Bugatti, bright orange, you know, that doesn't even do anything for me. It doesn't look any different than any other Bugatti that has a set of wheels on it, right? Because the car already comes really pretty cool, right? Not my thing, but I'm not going to downplay that it's not a cool car, right? It's not my first choice. But when you go, what I find more interesting, and some of you may call bullshit on this, but I find interesting is when you take a car that's like, and again, this is coming from a guy that's not filthy rich, right? When you take a car that's like, I'll just take my car for example. You look around town and you see like I have one of my cars, a Solara, right? I've always liked the body lines. Now that's a car that's in my financial lane when I bought it. You know, when you look at other cars, they're not very popular. Nobody likes that car. However, my car with the drop, the wheels, the way I did it up, it's not over the top customized, but it's always people always compliment on it, right? They're always like, God, what is that? That thing looks sick. And so that is subjective. Not everybody's gonna think that, but I think it's much more interesting to take a car that you never see as being flashy and then making it something that is flashy. Now, that's just my opinion. That's the way I view it. But I don't think there's anything unique about a Bugatti. They're a dime a dozen. Everybody with a shit ton of money. You know, when you want to talk about real money, like, does Wes Watson have a fucking giant yacht? Like, no. You know, so it's actually kind of comical and sad at the same time. Wow. Yeah, James just said, unless he has a car that's exclusive to him. Yeah, like the other guy from Dubai. Like, dude, so you got a Bugatti. What about like somebody pulls up a Devil 16 or some shit like that? You know, it's like
yourself slack. Accommodating our shortcomings is one of the biggest things that we could do wrong. Right. Instead of like people always pat themselves on.
It's kind of like when people are like driving Mercedes. Like if you're in an area that's really poor and driving a Mercedes, it's like, oh man, that guy's rolling. But like, go take that to Hollywood. People are like, dude, what? Dude, like Gardner has that. You know, it's like it doesn't mean anything anymore.
The back that they did.
Especially he lives in like Miami, I think. Like there's so much money.
Shit,
there.
right? Oh, I did this, I did that, I did that. I'm like, motherfucker, what didn't you do? Yeah. Like, I don't give a fuck what you did. You're supposed to do that. What'd you miss? Yeah. My whole thing is I never miss.
Man, I like that.
I'll never miss shit. I've never missed an upload on YouTube. I've never missed one of the posts that'll change a life on Instagram. I always tell my motherfuckers, I'm like, you thought that post was going to do super good. And you're like, oh, this one's gold. I love this one. And it gets 900 likes. Yeah. And you post something on a whim and it goes fucking 10,000. Yeah. And you're like, what the fuck? So you just never miss. You never know what someone's going to read in it. And you have to live.
That's just a rambling statement. I thought you never miss. You post I thought he was going to come up with some kind of like information about doing better. Like you didn't do anything. What he basically admitted to is that there's an element of luck and randomness when it comes to social media. So, you know.
Live outwardly for everyone who follows you, because sometimes just the fact that you did post again when they felt like crawling up in a ball and giving up. And
dude, these guys act like posting content is like you digging a ditch and like you want like difficult, like be a roofer somewhere, like out in the fucking middle of like Arizona or some shit on a hot summer day. Like they act like this is hard work. This is ridiculous.
And you're just like showing up for them one more time. Yeah. That was enough for them to see that you gave a fuck about them. Because I give a fuck about my people. Yeah. Like I give a fuck about the mother.
I don't know, man. There's some people on YouTube with their stories that say otherwise. So
the fucker struggling who doesn't think it's ever going to work out. Like I just bought my third Phantom this year. Like
how that relates to the dude who's like, oh, I'm down on my luck. I don't think anything's going to work out. I just bought my third Phantom. My understanding, he doesn't own any of these cars, but only Wes Watson knows this.
I bought 2 Mansory Phantoms this year. I just bought my second one, and I bought 3 Phantoms total. You know, it's like.
Yeah, I mean, if I have tons of money, anybody with money, it's not like some accomplishment. Like, if you have money rolling in because you're an influencer, like, you can go buy whatever you want, you know? Like
to me, that's crazy where I'm from. Yeah. And then lame-ass motherfuckers who've been given everything their whole life watch people wearing iced-out watches and motherfuckers with chains and shit. They're like, why do you have to be flossy? Shut the fuck up. You've been handed everything, motherfucker.
That doesn't even make any sense. Like, there's lots of people who are handed stuff that like chains and don't like chains. Like, if somebody... It doesn't even make any sense, that statement. Like, he rambles a lot.
Ain't no motherfucker who worked for everything downgrade a motherfucker for being flossy.
Never.
Not once.
Never.
Only that handout bitch, mommy and daddy motherfucker who sent him to Harvard and shit.
That's it.
And he learned from grandpa how to floss. Motherfucker, your stupid cardigan, take that shit off, get the fuck out of here.
Nah,
you know, it's like, I'll steal your bitch too, for what?
Man, what a... It's quite sad, actually, to watch a human being talk like this. And, like, at his age, you know?
But the whole point is like, I want everyone to just really speak how they speak and be who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Like, just let me meet you, you know?
That's it. Now, one thing I noticed is, and even when I first had...
I agree with that, but that again, statement kind of contradicts what, like, if people can just... Because if you don't have money, like, you're a piece of shit, or you don't get up at 2:30 in the morning, like, you're already losing. So it's like, that doesn't really line up with be who you want to be, you know, so...
I see your videos, I was like, man, bro, it's rough. But what I realized is you love on people, right? But everyone can't see because more people are worried about how you're saying things versus what you're saying. What I hear is, no, I'm here to help you get better. But I need to be real with you so that I can bring the best out with you. I can bring the best out of you.
I mean, the healer.
Hubert said, any of these cats into Invicta? I don't know, doubtful. Like, usually when people have a lot of money like this, they're... I don't want to overgeneralize, but there's going to be a lot of people with money who like Invictus too, right? I mean, there's lots of people on my channel who they'll tell me, they're like, I have Invicta, I have Rolex, you know. It just comes down to the person, right? And you know, these dudes, I know Rich Piana, like, he always wore like an Invicta. You know, I'm sure the dude could afford a Rolex or any of these other really expensive watches. So yeah, there's people buy what they ultimately, well, hopefully they buy what they like and makes them happy. But a lot of people do buy watches that are like, for instance, the watch he's wearing, right? Like, when he rolls his wrist around, you can go get a new Bayo for like $400 that looks exactly like that. Doesn't look any different. The quality is probably not much different either, but you wear that watch because it costs $100,000, right? So why else would you spend more on something that looks like something else? It's because you want the allure of that particular brand. So generally, guys, I think like this, they may look at Invicta and say, man, that thing's really big and flashy, and like, I really like the design. And then they'll look at the price tag and be like, oh, $300? That's trash, you know? So it's just...
He don't heal people.
But Rich Piana, he always rocked Invictus.
He triggers in them their ability to heal themselves.
Shame, yep.
I'm going to make you fucking feel it.
Yep.
And people are like, she won't be with you if you lose all your money. I said, I don't want her to be.
Yeah.
I don't want her to, I'd be with you if you lived in a cardboard box. Bitch, please don't enable that shit. Like, that's the problem with the world. Too many bitches are fucking dudes who fucking ain't got shit. And then the guy just stays comfortable.
At least he's honest with the fact that, you know, that his girl would not be with him if it wasn't for money. And that, to me, if that works for you, then there's nothing wrong with that. I would not want to be with somebody who's with me because of one reason that has nothing to do with... I guess it does have something to do with you, but I mean, I just would not want... She's really there for the material things and the money. I just don't... I mean, he's honest about it. I think in one of his other videos, he said something along the lines like, she wouldn't be with me if I wasn't rich. And so, you know, I mean, at least he's honest with that. Like, I mean, as good looking as he thinks he is, obviously that's not enough. And that says a lot about her. Definitely not something I would value in a person, but it's his life. It's, you know, who am I to judge it?
Fucking leave me. If I ain't killing it hard enough for us to fucking live how we should be living, then fucking leave me and maybe I'll actually go get some shit done.
That's a fact.
I mean, this is the whole thing. Like, I don't want nobody to accommodate me. People are you scared of this? Or like, everyone tells me their fears. So like, she's going to leave you. Your business is going under. You're going back to prison. I'm like, motherfucker, I've been to prison. It made me better. If I lost my business, I've started.
Yeah, I highly doubt that his mindset, if by some chance he does go back to prison from that incident, I highly doubt he's going to be thinking, well, no big deal. You know, it made me better. It's going to make me even better. Most people, your freedom, your health and your freedom, two very important things in life. I highly doubt that that's going to be his, whoops. Hang on, guys. Sorry, a little error here. I highly doubt that's going to be his mindset should he go back to prison. He's going to be like, fuck. You know, if he has any brain in his head, he's going to be like, fuck, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I don't think anybody goes to prison and says, yeah, you just can't wait to go back. Unless you have something kind of off with you where you've been, I guess, in prison so long. There are folks out there who have been in prison so long that coming back out and, I guess, adapting to society is just not pleasant at all. So, yeah, I don't want to speak for everybody of things I don't know about at all, but I would venture to guess that he's is worried about going back to prison, right?
start a business. I started this out of scratch. I made this up, motherfucker.
Right.
And the chick will leave me? Jesus. I mean, I let her come back for the third time. Fuck you talking about? Wrong story you're watching, homeboy.
I mean, it's not really alpha, man. When you're talking, this is why alpha males always contradict themselves. Like, alpha males should value themselves for who they are, right? And so, like, he clearly admits that, like, this chick, like, you're gonna constantly keep taking this chick back. To me, it's just like, dude, that's not very alpha at all. But I think the whole alpha thing is just fucking ridiculous. But
right, because once what he's telling y'all is once you've been at the bottom, can't nothing phase you. Because the only thing that can do is you start over from where you were.
Dude, every day, if I start building scenarios in my head, those imaginary evils, those negative scenarios, like it's not going to work out, I take everything away from myself. I go back to doing push-ups on that prison floor, and I remember I was happy there. Like, I don't need this shit to be happy.
Maybe you'll get to go back. Show us how happy you are there.
It doesn't even do anything for me.
Right.
I'll have my driver come pick me up. He costs more than most people make a fucking year because he's security for Future, for Justin Bieber, for top people. And he's going to drive me in the Phantom. He's going to drive in the Phantom with the choppers in the trunk. And I'm going to drive in the Bugatti getting followed by him. And this is the thing, like.
It's so funny. These guys like want to be gangsters so bad. And I'm not saying he's not, badass. I'm not saying he doesn't have a past and all that stuff. But it's like, dude, it's like they're constantly trying to live in a rap video. If rap videos are not real, it's just kind of ridiculous.
I roll at a whole different level. If they made Scarface 2025, they couldn't even imagine it at the level I live at. Right. They wouldn't even do it big enough to lie that big. And that's how I fucking live. And the whole thing is why? Because I watched those movies growing up. Right. I'm like, I want to kill it like that. Yeah, I'll do.
It's like a little kid talking.
Whatever it takes. And I did.
This is a grown man. It's
whatever it takes. And I went to prison for doing the wrong shit, for pushing packs and violence. And I mean, the whole thing is I don't respect a motherfucker who ain't been through some shit. Right. Like, I like people for their pain, for their scars, what they've been through. Yeah. Those are the trophies. Yeah. Like some prissy-ass motherfucker pulls up and just has everything and it all went his way. What the fuck? Right. What the fuck we going to relate on? What's the story here? Yeah. Oh, you got handed everything? I don't know what that's like.
Well, there's lots of people who put in hard work who didn't have to go to prison to do so. Lots of people build brands and success, without having to have necessarily struggled through prison or concrete floors doing push-ups in order to achieve that level of success. So the lack of thought here is it's unfortunate, really.
Like, motherfucker.
Yeah. Now that's good. I always say if a person ain't never been through the fire, I don't really want to do business with them because when shit hits the fan, you don't know what they'll react.
100%.
Yeah. So
can't trust a man without a dark side.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So finish this or explain this, right? All attention is good attention.
Oh yeah, I get the most negative attention, but I do it on purpose. Yeah. Even when my guys Goldie did it the other day. Goldie coached under me.
I think he is kind of a troller. I think a lot of what he, who knows? Maybe, and I doubt it, but maybe like in real life, like maybe he's not so over the top. Maybe a lot of this is he's playing a character, but I don't know. He just only he knows, I guess. Either way, he's laughing all the way to the bank, that's for sure.
And he had these chicks on a leash, and everybody's like, oh, my God. Oh, no. It's like, what does that represent to you? Or da-da-da. Shut the fuck up. Right. Like, those chicks willingly did it. They played your dumbass into watching, and now he's got 10% of the people who fucking viewed these billions of views that understand who he is and are probably going to buy his course or learn from him. Absolutely. And, I mean, the whole thing is he's confident. He's selling confidence. I love it. He was one of my guys. He came to one of my first masterminds in Cali. And he didn't know what he was going to sell at first. And it was like mindset, training, nutrition. That was part of it. But he was so good at relationships and with women. So that was the twist. Yeah. And I'm glad to see that he actually wasn't scared to monetize the attention. Because a lot of you motherfuckers watching, a lot of you guys watching won't say the shit needed to go viral. But it's how you think. So if you were just your authentic self, you'd...
What exactly did he say? Like, what exactly is this guy saying? That it's just like the whole. To me, the original alpha male was like Alpha M. With all the answers on what guys should wear and style and all this stuff. And at the end of the day, I don't know. People are just. It's got to be. I mean, everybody's a human being at some point, right? Not at some point, but everybody's a human being, right? Unless you're just a total psychopath, but. most people have feelings. Most people have normal thoughts of fear and dying and normal life stuff. You know, I don't. I just if you don't, like, there's something wrong with you, like clinically.
Go viral as fuck, but you're just holding it back. You're censoring. Like I could.
But I mean, like, how exhausting would it be to constantly have to like keep putting up this facade? You know, I mean, if it's not real, but
Make anybody say anything that could go off, but they won't say it because they're afraid of the backlash.
That's it.
say what? Like, what exactly does he say? Like, he's not saying anything that hasn't been said before by other people like him. You know.
Now that's so good. Again, transparency.
Hubert, just thoughts on his purses. You know, I'm never one to like really. A purse isn't my thing, right? But you know, I'm never one to really bash somebody or make fun of them for what they like. I do think it's a little, you know, kind of like. I think if you saw like a normal stylish dude rocking a purse, you might say, "Oh, he's a little eccentric, a little over the top stylish," right? If you know, if you consider it stylish, I'm not into that. But I mean, like when you have somebody who's so like alpha, you know, and calling people bitches, but yet you're rocking like it's not like a little like shoulder bag, like it's like a full on purse this guy carries, and to me, it's like, what do you got in there? You know, like I get sometimes where there's dudes who, you know, maybe some of these rappers are carrying around like $100 grand in cash in a purse, and that's kind of like, I need, you know, they need this for this giant stack of cash, but again, it's all about flash and showing off. I think it's kind of. Yeah, I mean, if he obviously likes the purse, it sure as hell isn't something I would carry.
Being authentically you.
Authentically you. Like the whole thing is the whole way I speak was like a problem at first.
Right.
And people were telling me like, oh, like that's not the way to do it. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
There's no way with me.
Fact.
Like I'm not trying to get any outcome. This is how I talk. This is me being me on camera. And guess what I like? I like being on camera.
Right.
So I'm just going to run this up. I don't give a fuck.
That's it.
Give a fuck if I lose everything or if I become a billionaire. I'll fucking be on camera more. Like if I lost everything, you're going to watch more. If I make more money, you're going to watch more.
That's lit. I like that. Nah, that's bars. He giving y'all sauce, man.
Not. You never know.
So
I've been doing this shit. I was the first motherfucker.
I think what really makes him more popular is all the people trying to bring him down, honestly. Because he never says anything. He doesn't post anything that's interesting. He doesn't say anything that's like interesting. There's nothing he says that I'm like, I never thought of that. Like, it's like, what? It's like, it's just a bunch of nonsense. He's gibberish. You know, just random thoughts flying through his head and really just complimenting himself all the time.
To be cracking the numbers that I crack in this shit. And why? Because if a person said, well, what's it going to do for me? I said, if you don't do it, you're going to be some dumb bitch who didn't do it. Yeah. And if you do what I told you, you're getting ripped.
Fact.
And they're like, well, goddamn, that was a good answer. Not, well, I'll make sure that you have the perfect diet. It's going to work out. Yeah. Like, that's a whole fucking lie. I ain't placating nobody. I'm back, motherfucker. You could make nothing if you suck at this and you're a dumb fuck. Right. And if you do what I tell you and you kill it and you slowly level up, like me and all my top guys did, you'll be a boss in this game because everybody else quits.
Interesting that, like, even
damn, that's good. So what is it like? Because I heard, you know, I was listening to one of your interviews in the past, and obviously I know you're doing millions of dollars a month, but most people can't fathom, right? So I want to get into the business side, right? I like teaching people marketing. Obviously, you're crushing it. DMs, you getting busy in the DMs.
Busy as fuck in the DMs.
You're closing a lot of your sales.
I close most of them.
What do you say to someone who says, Wes Watson has so much volume, I don't know how he's closing them by himself? What is that strategy look like?
Not that hard. The way my programs are set up, selling a 40,000.
Look at this is just when you look at just the term Wes Watson, one would think Wes Watson would be at the top of the search string, right, or the search results. He's like not. Like you have, you know, Ben Wise, you have Big Craig, Wes Watson does pop up. You have like John Bravo, and I mean, he does pop up. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like. Let's see what else he got. Like one of his videos has 1 million views, which is fantastic. But it's 5 years old. You know, Tony, huge protocols. Let's see what else we got here. Like John Bravo, I mean, in 2 months has 601,000 views on one of his films. So it's just like, you know, here's 2 days ago, 13,000 views. Like there's dudes with watch review channels who are killing that. You know, so he's not as popular as he thinks he is. And a lot of these guys who do, who make videos about him, I think help to drive more views.
$1,000 program, and is my top of one of my programs, my elite program.
Okay.
A $20,000 program is the top of my business coaching program. A $2,000 program is the top of my mid-level program. So how hard is it to make $100,000 a day? I just got to close a couple programs. I mean, like the whole thing is like I have to just sell a few fucking programs. I sell a few 7,500s. I'll sell a 20,000. I'll sell a shitload of 2,000s, and I'll close an elite deal. I made $100K. Right. But the whole thing is I have so many over 5 years when you're selling like a mid-level program that's $299 to $2,000 a month or a year, $299 a month to $2,000 a year. You have so many recurring signups that are always going through that ends up being 20, 30, 40, 50,000 a day. The highest I had with all my recurring was 54,000 a day. Wow. So I made 54 grand a day without even doing anything. So then all I had to sell was my 30 grand to hit my 3 million. Like I'd basically sell, then, I'd sell 30, 40 grand a day and hit my fucking 3 million a month that I hit.
Damn, that's lit. So it
is incredible, really. I mean, it is quite amazing that people pay him for workout programs. I just can't fathom ever doing that.
Assuming a lot of your people who are coming through your, reoccurring continuity, a lot of them leveling up to your high ticket?
Well, this is the thing. They're coming in at the mid-ticket.
Hubert said, would you wear an RM if someone gifted you one? I mean, I guess if there was no strings attached, somebody's like, yeah, I'm going to gift you a watch, right? I'll always wear a watch. I mean, absolutely. I guess, how do I say this? Yeah, I'd wear it, but, at some point, I'm probably going to say, unless there's some stipulation, like if somebody were to be super successful out there and say, hey, you know what, Phatkat Collections, I enjoy your content, I want to gift you an RM, but you can never sell it, like you can't ever get rid of it. Then, yeah, I would wear it, and, I wouldn't wear it as my only watch, right, because I like other watches, too. I wouldn't wear a watch just because it's expensive, But, I honestly would prefer to, if I got that, I'd prefer to just sell it, and take the money and, like, pay off my house or something like that, or give my parents some money. I just don't, that wouldn't bring me any more enjoyment. Like, what am I going to do? Rock the RM, drive down to the local grocery store? Like, for what? Like, what's that going to do? It's not going to bring me any more enjoyment than wearing a new Bayo on my wrist. It looks the fucking same. There's no difference, But yeah, I mean, yeah, you want to give me one, I'll wear it. Andrew Tate is way more known than him. Absolutely. This guy is small fish in a big pond. He really is, yeah. And Andrew Tate, that's another one I can't stand, but...
Knowing that that's a stepping stone to get in shape, learn the apps, learn the mindset, level up, get themselves right, get themselves confident, be on the calls, see the structure of the program, and then they level up to the next program where they eventually teach the program they just did. So they do the program for like a year, they kill it, they change their life, and then they go teach it. It's like a fucking university.
So in a year, you're gonna change your life. Like, I can assure you that I've been training pretty hard for 4 years, and you're not gonna get any kind of gains that are going to, maybe mentally change your life. I think if one could develop healthy skills, healthy habits, and change your life, but you're not going to go and start working out in a year and get some kind of insane results where now you're you could be on stage at a bodybuilding expo or walking around even like an expo, or really achieve any kind of build which is so much different than what you had, even doing everything right. And so, yeah, I guess the whole thing here sounds like you are then supposed to start teaching this generic workout program. And again, I haven't seen it. I just know enough about working out that there's nothing you're going to, if you want to work out and you stick to the core principles, there's no special curl that's going to make your arms bigger than a standard barbell curl. If you're going to work your chest, there's no special way of tweaking your arms or the width of the grip or anything that's going to make your chest bigger than just consistency. Consistency and progressive overload and continuing to challenge yourself, right? It's just amazing people buy into
it. They're ascending to the next level. They're being taught by me, and they get in shape, they kill it, they change their life, their mindset. They're like, whoa.
James said just walk around jiggling the wrist, make people notice the RM. I guarantee you, throw an Invicta Sea Hunter on your wrist and wear an RM on the other, people won't even notice the RM. Who cares?
This really does work. Most of them come in and just want to get better.
Yeah.
And then they kill it so hard, they're like, I have to do this for a living.
Makes sense.
And then they end up doing it, and they're like, what the fuck? I'm having $6,000 days, $10,000 days. And they're sporadic, but I'm like, so keep going. That'll be every day. And then your sporadic day will be 40,000.
Yeah.
Like, just understand this. It's a numbers thing.
This is like me being like, yeah, you know, you start a YouTube channel, you're gonna have days where you're making 100. Then you have days where you're gonna be making 10,000 a day. Just keep going. Just keep putting out the content. You're gonna have days and weeks where you're doing $1 million. Like, it's just me making stuff up as I go. Like, it's just, there's nothing really like, there's nothing like, this isn't grounded to anything. And if we look at, you know, the biggest thing that he makes money on is definitely not YouTube. But if we just look at something like, let's see what we got here. Bear with me a second here. And again, remember, these numbers are not 100%. Because there are other factors when it comes to, you know, YouTube. But Social Blade is a pretty good, I guess, tool to kind of see how a channel's doing. So let's see how many views he gets on the 20th. So Friday. No, Friday? We're going to pick one day here. So views are like 16,000 to 22,000. Let's say, like, best case scenario, 22,000 per day. Generally a good rule of thumb. And I'd say that on my channel, based on what I've read, like, I think it's the CPM is actually on the higher side. So if we just factor on 22,000 views per day times 0.003, whoops, 1,000 times 0.003. So, like, 22,000 a day. Is that even right? That can't be right. 22,000. I must did something wrong. And 0.003 is $66 per day. Like, his views are not insane. Let's do the math in this too. 22,000. Let's just say he did 22,000 per day times 30 days. 660,000 times 0.003. I'm probably doing that wrong there. Hang on a second. No, that's what, yeah, and even if you look at, like, what Social Blade says, his earnings could be anywhere between, like, $6 and roughly, you know, on 22,000 views, $90 per day. So even at best case scenario, if he had, like, a really high cost per million, 90 times 30, you know, it's $2,700 a month. Like, that's not a lot of money. Like, he's really making the money off, like, he probably has a supplement brand and, of course, the workout program. So
nothing's biased to you.
Right.
It's just the more numbers, the more hands you shake, the more money you make. So by the time you have the X amount of people viewing you, I probably got 85 to 90 direct hate DMs today. Fuck you, kill yourself, you bitch.
There's not that many, really. 90 direct. I mean, yeah, people do hate him. I mean, and I don't want to come across here like I'm hating on the guy. Like, kudos to him, man. I mean, making all that money, that's fantastic. But I just critiquing what he's saying in this. Hubert said he's probably swimming in muff, though. I mean, I don't. I mean, he's got a relationship now. I don't know. To me, I don't see that. I don't know.
Pussy, fucking all this shit, and I have to go through them and erase them. Yeah. This would probably make people get so fucking down on themselves because these people try to make it sound like it makes sense what they're talking about, but they're losing.
Now, see, it's interesting to me. He's like, oh, this doesn't affect me. But like the whole 5'8", so he claims he's 6'2", 250. But yeah, when he got arrested, it was the police report said 5'8", 230. Now, that's still a big boy. Like 230 pounds is a lot, right? He carries a lot of muscle on him. But if he's like, he always defends it, you know. And if it really bugs you, I understand that when people say things that aren't true, sometimes you just have to kind of let it roll off you and just kind of move on and just ignore it. Or if you want to defend it, like, you have to come out with some kind of proof. And yet to this day, like, he talks about it nonstop, but will not come out with just, like, it's very easy for him to go ahead and take a guy and mark, you know, 6'2" on the wall, right, with a tape measure. Have a couple witnesses. Do it at an expo, right? You can go to an expo and have somebody measure you. Like, if you want to clear this up, 100%. You could just have, who's the guy that goes around and asks people if they're natty or not? Like, one of those dudes, do a collaboration and have them like measure them, and you put it to bed. But the fact that he never does that, he never proves it, but yet he constantly keeps talking about it. To me, it's like it does bug you. So he's just like full of shit.
Losers, so it doesn't even fucking matter.
Hubert says, no, you would with the RM versus Nubeo. No, man, you don't. If you think that watches are going to get you a woman, dude, you don't know anything about women. You know, and if that's the kind of women you want to attract, like, I mean, maybe you have to move to, I'd have to move to a certain area, like Miami or somewhere, and go into a club. But that's RMs are a dime a dozen. Like, when you're around people with tons of money, it doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, people just desensitize to things. And I can guarantee you that walking around with a Nubeo on your wrist or an RM, like, most people don't even notice unless you're a watch person. Nobody cares, you know. So it's just like ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, he says, I mean, when you have to lie about your height that much, and he says half a foot. Yeah, I just don't like. I mean, a real like alpha male, like, just prove it, you know. But maybe he feels like he doesn't have to prove it, but then just stop talking about it, you know. So, but he doesn't, so it obviously bugs him. What a weird thing to get upset about.
So, I mean, the whole point is I have to go through all these DMs, and I only close my DMs. Gotcha. So the whole thing is I'm going through, and then this person wants the program. Boom, 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 sale, boom, sale, 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 sale. And by the time a day goes through, I go through 400 or 500 messages. And so, I mean, 400 or 500 messages, a lot of people primed to knowing my programs. I could do a simple close through DM. The whole thing is if I can't close 10 programs a day, then I fucking suck. And most of them aren't $3,000. They're more or less, you know?
Nah, that's good. And a lot of people say, oh, can't close high ticket in the DMs. But what I'm hearing is you getting it done.
This one guy told me when I was starting off coaching that anything over 2,000, you got to get on the phone. Yeah. And that's only if you weren't prepping them with your content. What if your content showed them over 2 years exactly what they're buying?
Yeah.
So then they just come and buy it.
That's good.
Or are you going to not talk about all your programs on your content, and you have a sales guy for 2 hours trying to sell it to them? Like, that's a stupid ass way to do it. But I do both. So I have a salespeople trying to close people, and then I have myself closing in the DM.
Fire. So what he's telling y'all is he's essentially nurturing the audience. He's giving them game on how to think and how to grow rich. He's giving them game of his actual lifestyle so that they know they're not listening.
I mean, where does he sell these on? Because, like, I'm looking on his, so I guess, does he do everything on Instagram? Like, you would think one would have a website. Like, when you search Wes Watson on Google, like, you do get his Instagram account, but nothing about his fitness programs or anything. This one thing, this is something about, let's see this one here. Watson Fit. Get fit quick schemes are usually money minters. Let's see what this says here. The title of this is like, the truth about Wes Watson's net worth. Is he as rich as he claims? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna read through all this, but I mean, ultimately, like, I mean, who really cares? I mean, if he's rich or not, like, I mean, good for him if he is. I just don't
listen to someone they don't want to follow. So by the time he gets them in the DMs, it's not a
idea that these like empty promises that I'm sure there's some people who will, I guess, be motivated by what he's selling, and then maybe, you know, motivation is a powerful thing. Maybe make some changes in their life, and maybe make some moves that get them, you know, a level of success. But it's not like a guarantee, right? Yeah, the podcast. James just said the podcast host is acting like he's at his sermons. Yes, sir, that's right. Amen. Yeah, absolutely. He's just kind of like. I mean, I'm sure this was kind of set up where he's like, you can't challenge me at all. And I've never seen this other guy, so I don't know.
A cold sell. They've already watched him for 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, so they're ready to take action.
Most people 2 years.
Yeah.
One of the biggest thing is if
I could watch this guy for 2 decades, and there's nothing that would make me give him $10.
If your audience is always broke, it's because you're a shitty teacher. I'll have people come to me that can barely afford my $750 3-month program. I get them so disciplined, so focused on life that a year later, they easily afford my $20,000. They're like, whoa, I was a loser. Yeah. I really wasn't doing the work. I really wasn't applying myself. Now that I applied myself.
It kind of reminds me of, like, in sales, if you're selling a product and you mention something about the product and you're like, oh yeah, this is a no-brainer, where you almost like kind of in a mild way insult the person looking to buy something, the client, in order to make them think like, oh, well, I'm stupid if I don't buy this. He just uses insults a lot in order to get people to like you'd be dumb not to buy this, you know? It's like,
in my normal job, I market now, you know?
So essentially, y'all make sure that y'all become the person so that you can make the money. Because the person who got the right mind is going to get to the money.
I thought you want to become the person because you want to become the person. It has nothing to do with making the money.
And one thing you touched on, and I want to slow it down for the people, is he has multiple offers, right? And what he does is, if you guys create a good baseline offer, customers are going to ascend because now they trust him. They already trust him because he got them in shape. He got their mind right. He can sell them.
Well, why would one have to, why would one, if you buy the inexpensive program and you got your mind right and you got in shape, wouldn't you be self-sufficient now and you can rock and roll on your own? Like, why would you need to, like, step it up to get the next program? Like, what are we adding? A set of dips in there? Ooh, we're going to take it from 3 sets to 4 sets? Like, this is just absolute grifting at its finest.
Anything at that point. No one wants to go to a new coach if they already have a coach who's gotten the results. So make sure y'all are creating higher ticket offers.
Look at the Ascension.
Yeah, nobody would want to go to a new coach if they got results, but why would you want to buy another program if you got results? You know?
Look at this. The Ascension goes from my mid-level program where you get in shape, get your mind right, you learn the apps and learn the system that you're about to teach. So you fully understand.
I heard the apps are like just basic, like kind of garbage, like Android apps. But I don't know if that's true or not.
Understand it. You went through it. You onboarded it. You did it. Now you're going to teach exactly what you did for a year or 6 months or 3 months to someone else. Now you elevate to being the person who makes the content and gets the sales. Then you elevate to being going to my elite program.
It's like a pyramid scheme almost, like a pyramid sales type program.
Where you can actually come around me, get more eyes on you, be in my content, or you can buy a podcast where you can just boost your shit forward.
Now it's lit.
And so the whole thing is there's massive.
So from what I'm hearing here is like these different levels. You almost like navigate into a next tier where eventually like you're almost paying him for his service. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be in his video or podcast, something like that. Like you're paying him. He's basically selling himself, his advertising, basically.
Ascension to all of it.
That's so fire. So you're teaching them how to actually become the person because they went through it. So if anyone asks, they already have social proof because they've been through your shit.
They did it.
And now they're showing them what they've duplicated, so it's nothing easier to sell than what you've already done.
Already did it. Then I make sure they do it first.
That's tough. And then you're going to drive traffic to them by allowing them to leverage you and your audience.
I drive traffic to them because once they're in the coaching business, the business coaching, I'm using them as testimonials and saying, hey, this person kills it. Go check them out. Go check them out.
Fire.
And I'm getting 70,000 views on my story. So, I mean, it's just... You couldn't even pay. They don't even understand how much that would cost in Facebook and Google ads. Like it would just be so fucking astronomical what I can give.
Yeah, but when you have a following, that's what influencers do. Like when you have a following of people, brands will reach out and want to pay you for either ad space. Like with me, I work with brands all the time. Like Dartmouth, I work with them consistently on marketing. I basically review their watches in a very simple form. And they, they look at that, and people see the watch. They see my excitement for the watch, and maybe they buy it. Ultimately, they're like, I'm not really like. It's not like some high pressure sale where I'm selling them the watch. I'm just bringing, I guess, awareness to this particular watch, and then they ultimately, if they like it, then they buy it. So, yeah, I mean that's why like movie stars, they're very selective about who they work with because they're making big money with endorsements. There's no, I don't think there's any... I guess if Gucci one day says to Wes Watson, we were going to sponsor you, then maybe he's made it. But right now, I don't see that. I see this grift, honestly.
Give them that they should just buy my $20,000 a year program just to know they'll get some sales and then say, Wes, I'll make some fire testimonials. Run me every week.
That's it.
You would make way more off of that.
20,000 is worth the promo alone.
The promo alone.
Yeah.
And this is, you'll get, if you kill it hard enough, I'll promo you all the fucking time. I'll say, come down, let's film a YouTube video.
That's it.
Let's run this up.
Because it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, the YouTube videos are basically them in the gym doing some curls. It's amazing to me that means anything to anybody.
Win-win.
For helping them and win for them. They're getting busy. Damn, that's so good, bro. This was like a master class because I like to give people actual steps about how they can level up. Let's get into the content phase. I know you talked about obviously lifestyle, but can we give them some game on someone today, right? They want to get started on content. They're a little scared of the camera. What are some actionable steps that they can do to drive more attention and traction to their page?
I mean, if they're scared of the camera, they have to get themselves into a different mental state. So, I mean, I teach people how to get into a high frequency state. And I mean, that's just a certain steps of your day, like getting up early, reading something positive.
Hubert said host is overweight, not masculine, and Wes is slowly morphing into a boiled hot dog. I mean, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. The host is. I'm not gonna pick the host apart. I wouldn't look at him and say like this guy works out, or he's in shape. He's just he's a big bone dude. Yeah, I mean that's kind of doesn't really mean
going to work out, eating properly, no
maybe he'll buy a program.
Drugs or alcohol. This is going to put you in a better place. If you're already a naturally confident dude, then a lot of that stuff's not going to hinder you as much. But if you're still building yourself, this is how you build yourself up into the best version of yourself that day. But I mean, with the content wise,
I'm living my best life.
You need a blueprint. I give people a blueprint. You're posting this, you're posting this, you're posting this, you're posting this. I mean, if you make your content a reality.
I mean, if we just look at somebody who follows him around, like Clinton Dye, I think his name is, like he's not killing it on YouTube. So I thought that if they follow the program, they're going to have all the success. And I'm just not seeing it.
Reality show with commercials, they'll watch the reality show. The reality show should have value in it. So I show my actionable steps. My program that I sell, I show on my story every day. I show that I'm up early. I show that I'm training. I talk about the stuff I get through mentally. I have most of my clients post what they read, what they eat, everything that's getting them to where they want to go. So we give the program away for free. The people start doing it. And the whole thing is you got to get them high before they buy. So, I mean, if you get them to work out and they're like, they never worked out before. So you show them some burpees. They do 100 burpees. They're like, fuck, I feel like I'm on top of the world.
It's just amazing people buy into this. So you show them a burpee. Who the fuck hasn't seen a burpee before? And it's like they do 100 burpees. 100 burpees. What exactly does 100 burpees? First of all, if you've never done a burpee, like you're not going to crack out 100 burpees, right? You're going to hurt yourself, right? I mean, for somebody that's never done burpees, for you to crack out 100 burpees, like good luck, maybe you're gonna do, a couple, maybe 5 sets of 20, right? But that's not life changing. Like seriously, like if somebody does 100 burpees and they feel like they just accomplished something, I really have to question, what they're doing on a daily basis in their life already. For a guy who's 500 pounds laying around in bed, right, and maybe he's spent years and years getting really out of shape and dealt with obesity and is living in some kind of horrible situation. And for a guy like that to get up and maybe walk around the block for the first time, that might be a huge accomplishment. But most people are not going to feel a level of success by doing 100 burpees. This is ridiculous.
And they're like, give me that 3 months. I'm going to run this shit up. Then they're like, oh, what? I feel like a bitch again 2 hours later. And then they just, fuck it. I already bought the program. I'm going to go to the gym. They go to the gym. I don't really like it, but I'm feeling better. Like a month later, they're like, fuck, I'm feeling this shit. 2 months later, they're a beast. 3 months later, you can't stop them. A year later, you've completely changed their life. And they
maybe if they're on like trend,
wouldn't have gone if you didn't fucking just say, just do these fucking burpees real quick.
I agree with that though. Start your goal small. Like if you're gonna start your goal and say, I'm gonna go to the gym for 2 hours, like you're never gonna stick to it. So sometimes, I'll tell my coworker all the time, like just start with doing, this week, on your first day off, go ahead and do, 20 push-ups and maybe, I don't know, you're not gonna do 20 pull-ups, right? So maybe do like, several sets of pull-ups or some squat, push-ups and sit-ups and pull-ups, I think are great. Do something is my point. Start doing something, start doing it consistently. Then you can maybe add to it, but so I get it that can kind of compound and you'll start to do more.
Got that high, then they bought, and then they invested their money, so they had to back it up. Most people really think they're not that money motivated, but with the second they invest their actual funds, they'll put forth more effort.
Absolutely.
Now he's an investment banker.
Absolutely. I always say people who pay attention, and people who pay more attention.
Dude, I have motherfuckers who'll buy my super elite program and they just don't even show up. They're just like, listen, I've been watching your content, like billionaires and shit. I watch your content. It's good enough for me. I don't have time to get on the call. Yep. So like we have their blueprint set up for their daily habits. They don't have time for the fucking call. So they just watch my Instagram. They see that I'm up, so they get up. They see that I worked out, so they work out. So it just gives them like, it's like real time accountability.
Right, let's just take a look here. Let's take a look at this high frequency state. I want to see what this Instagram looks like. I got to see what this Wes Watson Instagram looks like here. Wes Watson Instagram. So it sounds like he puts up tons of content every single day. All right, let's see what he posted today. Is this today? All right, so is this today or not? 2 hours ago. So him in the gym with his shirt off doing a set of fucking curls. What is that with some tricep push downs? Okay, so this is how I'm gonna start my day. I'm gonna look at this, and this is gonna be life changing. This is gonna do a full, like he's not even getting a full stretch in this. This is like, I can't even consider this even a rep. All right, so that was today's post. A couple of push downs. What's this one here? This is 6 hours ago. His girl and the kid doing nothing. I don't see any messages. I don't see any real content here. This is just random shit. What the fuck is this guy even talking about?
The form of coaching using my Instagram and using the habits that I give you is like virtual reality. Like you're at the gym with me, you know, like you just look at your shit. I'm at the gym. You're at the gym. You're getting up. I'm getting up. You're getting up. Like I'm able to hold you accountable all throughout the day because I'm doing it with you.
Makes sense.
You have no excuse.
None. GPS. So he's telling y'all, listen, and a lot of coaches aren't, you know, you're literally doing what you're telling them. Mm-hmm. So it's like they get to learn it, but then they see, damn, Wes is working harder than me. He shouldn't be working harder than me if he's making more money than me. So they feel like they got to catch up.
I tell them to post once a day.
Yeah.
I post like 5 times a day.
Yeah.
But I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is you can't beat me because I love it. I'll never stop. Fair. Like if you made me stop, I'd be so upset. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And these people want to stop one day with all their money and retire and never get on camera again. Yeah. You can't beat the guy who loves it if you're the person who's just doing it for an outcome. So you have to learn to love it. What's going to make you learn to love it? The people. The community, the connection. They do this so many times. They've saved my life. Like every fucking week, there's something going on all over the internet that Wes Watson did wrong. Yeah. Like sometimes it's like, oh, he re-gifted that purse to his new girlfriend, and like it's a thing, bro. I'm like, nah. It's not even the same one. It looks the same, you know? What the fuck? She's wearing his ex's shoes. Every bitch in Miami has those ones. Those Givenchy's that everybody got. Fuck you talking about? Like, and they just make up these psychotic fucking things, but it's always a big-ass thing that I'm supposedly doing. I ran into Diddy at Pura Vida. I'm like, oh shit, Diddy's here. And they swear like I'm part of some big old crazy scam thing or something Diddy's doing. I'm like, I just saw him at Pura Vida, you fucking weirdos. It's like, you didn't whoop his ass because he's a chomo? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I have no fucking... I don't have no proof on nothing. I'm not fucking, dude, it's Diddy. I saw him. What the fuck? And they act like some weird ass shit. I'm like, yeah, I bet you would have, bro. Yeah. I'm like, I've chartered the dude's jet a few times. He's cool as fuck. He was chill. I'll probably get a lot of heat for saying that because, like, what is crimes or whatever, I don't really get into people's gossip and their shit. Like, if I can get value from someone, then I'm just taking the value. I don't have to fucking like everything you do. Right. Why the fuck do these gossip girls who watch shit online think they have to like everything Wes Watson does? Right. How about this? If you think I'm a scammer, okay, then don't sell a program that's a scam. If you think mine is, then let's just assume it is, okay? Then don't sell one that's a scam. And then hit me up to say, how'd you get so many people to send you money? Exactly. How did you get so many people to send you money and trust you and send you all that money? And then you don't have a scam program. Right. My program's not a scam, but the whole thing is, most this year, all my signups were like recurring signups, people re-signing up. When I did a sale on Black Friday and New Year's, it was all people re-signing up. So, but the whole thing is they'll always say if it's a money program, it's a scam online.
Yeah.
So, okay.
That is valid. You know, I mean, if you have a scam, why do people keep signing up, right? He's offering something that some specific people find useful, I guess.
Let's have you not have a scam, and let's learn from me how to get someone to send you so much money from content, making the content, doing a call to action, and closing them. Content, call to action, close. What does that look like for you, Wes? You guys are so fucking stupid. You're not able to DM me and say, Wes, fuck everything. I have a product or service I want to sell. Teach me the content to make, teach me how to close them, and I know what I'm about to sell. Why is that so hard for everyone? Right. Why are their brains fucking mush? Yeah. I swear we have two types of people on planet Earth right now. The people who are driving around with fucking masks on in their goddamn car, and the people who didn't take a fucking vaccine and were like, fuck you, that shit's weird. Like, there's two types of people on Earth right now. The normal people and the people who thought that shit was okay. Like, it's fucking crazy. Like, I don't even, some of these people, I look at all their photos and I swear they're from like Midwest, like normal white people. And they're like, who the fuck are you think you are? I'm like, God damn. I can tell from their picture they're going to hate me. Yeah. It's like, fuck is going on out here? But, 1%. 99% of the people probably ain't going to understand me. And I ain't even 1%. How many people go to prison that long and then fucking get out and drive a fucking Bugatti and are this well known? I mean, we're just starting to split hairs more and more. And then I even came out to Miami and crushed Miami. They didn't think I could do it. No one's more known around here than me. There's a guy. There's that guy. There's that guy. Why? Because I'm out in the street. I don't give a fuck. I'll be out there. Handle business if you want. Motherfuckers have tried it, didn't go well for them. But I'm just saying, this is what it is.
That's what it is. That's good. Hey, that's good. So what's next for Wes? What's the goal? Like 2025? What are we looking to do?
I don't even care. I just like to not fall victim to the low frequency moments. I don't like to hate on one moment of my life. I don't like to be ungrateful for not 1 second. I like to just be able to talk people out of buying into the negativity. I like people to enjoy their fucking day. And I like people to fucking really know what works and just do it. Like, I'm so sick of having to tell people, what you chase runs. Yeah. Like, motherfucker, just do what I told you to fucking do. Like, dude, eat that food to get ripped. Train like that to build muscle. Post like this to draw on the fucking attention, build the followers, and then figure out what you're going to sell. What the fuck is so hard about this? Right. And they're just like, they question everything so much. And they act like they're not about money, but they're holding on to like their $1,700 like it's the craziest thing ever. It's like, motherfucker, let that shit go. You're broke. Yeah. Like, I want people to not have to be so coerced with motivation and colorful words, and I want them to just be smart.
This guy's exhausting.
Hard enough to say, I don't have to like everything about this guy, but he has what I want, and I'm going to go figure out how to get it how he got it. I just want them to be way simple and get what they want out of life.
That's it.
Like, because I don't live in fucking, I don't live in needs like these motherfuckers. I get what I want.
Yeah.
Like, there was a black Mansory Phantom that was sick as fuck, but had a little bit of miles on it. And there's this white one that was sicker. It was arguably as sick, but it had 200 miles on it. And I'm like, man, but this one's 125,000 more. From motherfucker. And get the better one, run it up, you know. Yeah. I didn't ask the price of the Bugatti. Facts. I said, oh, hell yeah, let's run it up. Let's get it. Like, I don't do that shit. Like, it's.
I mean, it's so easy. Like, I mean, for all the things that people clown him for, like renting his lifestyle, renting everything, like, it's so easy to prove that, you know. I mean, I understand, like, maybe a person feels like, why should I have to prove it? But I don't know. It obviously, like, bothers them, like the height thing and the weight thing. It's just, yeah. Why would you not just like show the title? You know.
So fucking.
But then again, it's just like guys showing their blood work, you know, with steroids. It's like nobody's gonna. Even if he shows it, there's still gonna be people who say, "Oh, it's
crazy." If I want something, I go fucking get it. And then these motherfuckers will have the audacity to use the word abundance to me when they're sitting there so fucking scared. There's two types of people. There's the people who build their wealth off.
I thought there was two types of people: vaccinated people and non-vaccinated people. So there's more than 2 types of people.
Scarcity and saving,
four
and they're the
types.
lamest motherfuckers. Like, they're so fucking lame, it's crazy. They're just like, oh, I did everything perfectly. I'm like, I don't want to be perfect Pat, who did everything perfect. Like, you're fucking lame to me, fool. Like, I want to live abundantly and fucking run it up. Like, if my people want to go eat there, I'll pay for everybody. If my chick wants that shit, buy that shit, bitch. If I want that shit, I'm getting it. If somebody needs something, we're running it. We're not scared that we're not going to make.
All right, I'm done, man. This fucking guy just doesn't shut up. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you catch it on the rerun, a lot of people watch or listen to these things and as like kind of like a podcast. So I should have. Sometimes I didn't pre-screen this, so I thought it'd be a little more interesting. But boring as fuck, honestly, and no content, of course. And just, again, just sounds like a bunch of grifting. But hey, like I said, more power to them. I think the whole alpha male thing is just a bunch of nonsense, in all honesty. Adrian said, you just got back. Westmate, you're talking too much. Just on and on without nothing to say. Yeah, man, like, I'm seriously getting tired here. Listen to this bullshit. Like, it's just a bunch of nonsense. This is like one of those friends you have in life. It's just, like, you'll bump into it and they just won't, like, they can't catch on to the fact. It's like, dude, I don't want to hear it. Or it's like, they can't take social cues. But I know he is like in the middle of an interview here, but there's nothing like interesting being talked about here. It's just basically the gist of this is like, motherfucker, why are you not doing it? Look at me, just fucking buy my program, dude, change your life. It's just like a one big nasty sales pitch. It's fucking ridiculous. These little alpha males, man, it's crazy. It's unfortunate because a lot of dudes, I guess in life, like we have a lot of people now. I mean, I don't know anybody, but based on what I heard, right, on like YouTube, there's people like out there that I guess guys don't have like a father figure, right? And I think it's a deeper problem with that. I think it really just comes down to stupidity. If you don't have somebody in your life who, helps you to be better, and exercise better judgment, then you might be drawn to somebody like this who you think has the answers because they've achieved some sort of level of success. One can argue whether you like this guy or not, alpha male or not, but he has achieved a level of success. Whether that has to do with hard work, luck, or a combination of that, right? And so one really can't, whether he's being honest to people or he's grifting, only he really knows that. And the people who sign up for the programs, but it's just not something I would ever be interested in. And I don't think that, anybody, if you're bringing in, if you have a lot of clients, like if you're making millions and millions of dollars, I mean, what was the price he said on the program? Wasn't it like 20 grand? So if you're doing, I don't know, let's say you're doing $1 million a month. I thought you said that at one point. Or like 100,000 a day. Let's see, 100,000 a day. So that's like, I mean, if you're really doing, like, you have, let's say 5 top tier clients, 100 grand you're making per day, like that's a lot of clients at the end of the month. And so I don't know, man. I just call BS on a lot of this stuff, and the whole alpha male thing is just to me, it's just a bunch of fucking nonsense. And these guys, more, like I said, more power to them. They've achieved level of success, and they really can, I guess, sell people on this idea. But I don't know, man. I'm exhausted. I feel so not motivated after watching that bullshit that I'm supposed to go out and do one of my workouts today, and that fucking didn't do anything for my motivation. I gotta get some coffee or something. Fuck it, man. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna do any more alpha male shit. This is a waste of fucking time. So thanks for watching, folks. Have a good day.